so forth. It's December 11th, and that means that it's Vishy Anand's birthday. I have two friends from the chess world who were both born in 1969 that have birthdays sort of near me. Although, I guess Susan's a friend too. I didn't think about that. So Susan Polgar, her and me and Stuart Rachels and Vishy Anand were all born in 1969. Susan was born April 19th, and that's actually my mom's birthday, but my mom's birthday wasn't in 1969, although it sort of was because I was born, so it was her birth. And then I'm September 6th. And then Stuart Rachels is September 26th, so I'm 20 days older than Stuart. And Vishy Anand is today, unless you're in Europe or India or Asia, then it was yesterday. He's 52 like me, and Stuart's 52, and Susan's 52. I think Zoltan Ribley is also September 6th like me, but he's like 30 years older than me. So, well, not 30, 25. Yeah. And Zoltan Ribley was good. Hungary's had some really good players. Hungary's crazy. Ribley was a candidate. Peter Lako's pretty good. Judith Polgar's pretty good. Raport's pretty good. Adoryan was pretty good. Portish was pretty good. I mean, these are world-class players. These are players who were all in the top 100 in the world. And some of them were in the top 50, and a few of them were in the top 10. I mean, that's, over the last, 50 years, Hungary is pretty good. So, yeah, and I probably missed a couple of 2700s that I forgot about. But you can X me later. X me, no? You guys never heard of X, so I'm pronouncing it wrong. But I'm pronouncing it like ask, so I'm trying. Yeah, no? Yeah, X. All right. Yeah, man, he murdered some of those Hungarians in the tournament. He was an axe murderer. Man. All right, let's get rid of these friend requests by accepting them. These are all my best friends. I know who they are, except for one thing. What's happening here? So it's funny, like on Karen's phone, where, you see numbers when you don't click on the messages or whatever. I always get rid of all that. I have no numbers anywhere. You'll never see a number on any of my electronics. Under Gmail, Karen has 9,800 unread emails. I'm serious. It might be more than 9,800. It might be 9,900. So that's pretty funny. That's actually a man-woman thing that I don't understand. I don't get that. Men like to get rid of those and women don't, but I don't know why. I got nothing. I don't know what the reasoning for that is, but yeah, Karen doesn't get rid of any of them. Karen has numbers all over everything, computers and phones and all that, and I don't have anything anywhere. Like even on Karen's stream, because she's watching my stream with her stream, at the top where they have messages and chats and some other stuff, there's huge numbers. I don't have any numbers. 100 centidues from Squirrel Guts, 100 centidues from Mr. Popezilla, 200 from Grunge War, 100 more from Squirrel Guts, 400 from Xenoid, and so forth. There were a couple before I started. So that was, before the, when the intro was still on. Squirrel got subbed. And I got 100 centidues from Luxembourg, from Luxemduke. And obviously he knows I lived in Belgium for 4 years, or he doesn't, before he was born. And I took a train from Brussels to Luxembourg, and then I was at the airport in Luxembourg. I guess it goes into the airport. I don't know. Or maybe it did in 1990. Now I don't know. And I flew to Iceland, Reykjavik, Keflavik, and I played in a tournament, and I flew home. And when I flew home, this was in April of 1990, we were on the tarmac, and they were de-icing the plane forever. They're like, we're going to de-ice it, then we're going to de-ice it again. So they were like, if you survive, please use our airline again. Anyway, it was 30 below zero Fahrenheit. And then we took off, And we landed 4.5 hours later in Luxembourg, and it was 70 Fahrenheit. So it was a 100-degree difference in temperature Fahrenheit from me taking off and landing. That's the only thing I remember about Luxembourg. Also, it's a very rich country. It's a Grand Duchy. They have their own language, Luxembourgian. Not sure if anybody speaks that. And probably most people speak also either French or German. Maybe some speak Dutch, but I doubt it. Even in the Netherlands, they don't speak Dutch. If you're Dutch, I want to tell you something that you're not going to like. I told some Dutch people this, and they were like, and then they're like, oh. They wanted to argue with me, but when they thought about it, they knew I was right. So they were furious. It's one of the few countries in the world where they have their own language, Dutch. And if you're inside of the Netherlands, more people speak English than Dutch. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, nobody who goes to the Netherlands speaks Dutch, just people who live in the Netherlands. They were like, yeah. And I said, and everybody in the Netherlands, not everybody, but like 95% speak English, the Dutch people, and almost all the foreigners speak English. Not all of them, but at least 50%. And they have a lot of tourists. There's a lot of tourism in the Netherlands. So at any one time, if you just polled everybody who was inside the Netherlands, more people speak English than Dutch. The truth hurts. Yeah. And not only that, only 35%, depending on if there's a lot of tourism, in the country are able to speak freaky deaky Dutch. And you would think most of the country would speak freaky deaky Dutch, but no. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you learned a lot from that. Hey, we're losing the hype train. Come on. Boo. Boo. Yeah. Thanks to COVID, there's no tourists. Bam, truth hurts. I had Dre is rating with a party of 136. He's rating in Spanish. Somebody do something. It's YASSER. There are 3 Dutch languages spoken in the Netherlands. Man, the truth hurts. I was going to tell YASSER it's past his bedtime, but it probably isn't. Yeah. Go YASSER. All I want to know is YASSER familiar with the intro to my stream where I imitate YASSER? That's all I want to know. That is YASSER, by the way. Yeah. I was hoping for a Ben bedtime story. That's true. I do have some bedtime stories, but it's not bedtime here. Where you are, it's probably bedtime. Here we go. Ben bedtime story. I can tell YASSER stories. No. I have an intro to my stream that's a video, and half of it I'm imitating you. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's not a troll, it's YASSER. It's 100% not a troll. Yeah. That is YASSER. Yeah. It's 1,000,000% YASSER. Unless it's 2,000,000%. It could be 2,000,000% YASSER. Man, that's a lot of YASSER. You're missing out? Yeah. Now, in my opinion, which most people don't agree with on my stream, Naroditsky does a better YASSER. And the reason is Naroditsky does a better everybody. I think Naroditsky is better at Kasparov than Kasparov is. I think if I was listening to Kasparov and I was listening to Naroditsky and I didn't know which was which, I might pick Naroditsky as Kasparov. Yeah, Naroditsky is better than me. But, yeah. Who does the best Naroditsky? Yay, Chess Dojo live rated. Thanks for the raids, people. Yeah. Now, YASSER, we closed the chess center, so I'm streaming from my basement. But we have a big basement, so. And we're just doing Twitch and YouTube now. But you still have to come and, hang out. All right, so YASSER wants a bedtime story. It has to be a YASSER story. Otherwise, it's not a good story. YASSER was in an elevator once. These are YASSER stories. YASSER was in an elevator once with a good friend of his. And then the elevator door opened, and this couple came on, man and woman, and they were very attractive, especially the woman, And the guy was like African-American, 6'4", all muscle. And she was, like pretty. And YASSER looked at his friend, and his friend is like 5'2". His friend's not tall. And he says, hey, you beat the shit out of that guy, and I'm going to take his girlfriend. And the guy was like, what? And then they all laughed. So, yeah. Although YASSER never told the end of the story, which is his friend did beat the shit out of the guy, and YASSER did take his girlfriend. He never tells that part of the story. Never. Terrible. Anyway, that was a good bedtime story. Oh, you said I need a favor? That is a good... Yeah, I don't remember the details so much. That would be a good favor. Yeah. That is true. And so forth. YASSER, the thing that my stream is most interested in, because about 40% of my stream is people on my stream talking about you. It's nothing to do with me or chess or the World Championship. They have YASSER questions. And one of the things that they ask a lot about YASSER, this is your number one YASSER thing, is video where there's a fight between Hikaru and Eric, and you're in the doorway like, being very calm and saying, this is going to happen, and I don't know if I'm going to give Hikaru his stuff back. Everybody thought that was great. The fact that you guys just didn't care that they were fighting in front of the chess house. Yeah, that's what they want to know, like, did you ever steal any of YASSER stuff? That was hilarious, yeah. And so forth. Yeah, I have too many YASSER stories. I have a lot of my stories, too. My stories aren't as good. Yeah, because, if like you took YASSER at his worst, like the worst he ever was, and the best that I ever was, he's like 100 FIDE points higher than me. And then if you take the best he was and the worst I was, then it's like 400 FIDE points. So his stories are better than mine because now I want to talk about, since YASSER's here, I want to talk about the Dubov situation. And some people think Dubov shouldn't be the coach in a world championship of a player who's facing his countryman and teammate. So Karen was asking me, does this happen? And what did they do in the past? And my answer was, typically, if you're playing for the world championship, typically, your seconds aren't current top 10, top 20 players. Although actually Dubov is not a top 10 or top 20 player. But you get my idea. And YASSER was Korchnoi second, and YASSER was probably similar strength to Korchnoi, probably worse, but, not like me. He was, YASSER was a top GM, top 10 in the world, top 20 in the world, top 30 in the world, like for, 15, 20 years. So we don't really have a lot of previous cases of these things happening, because normally the coaches, are people who aren't the top 10 in the world, so they're not like that son. And it's funny because I just made up a scenario. I made one up. I said, okay, Fabi is playing Carlsen for the World Championship, which did happen, and one of Carlsen's seconds is Wesley So. Now, would there be outrage in the American community? What would American grandmasters think about that? Would anybody care? It didn't happen, but what if it did happen? Would you be like, Wesley, how could you be back in Magnus? You and Fabi are like that, son. So I don't know. I literally don't care, but, yeah. Very unpaid. Man, we're dissing on Wesley, and he didn't even do anything. But we're thinking he might have done something. Yeah. Anyway, what YASSER thinks about it is what's important, because YASSER's actually done that. YASSER's been world championship, coach, and pretty 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 high rated for. If you said name all of the world champion seconds and matches, YASSER's right up there, because there's people who are not, who are IMs and weaker GMs like me who have been coaches, but usually somebody who says I've been in the top 10 in the world they're not coaching another top 10 player. Yeah. So to me, it doesn't bother me that Dubov was working with Magnus. And one of the reasons it doesn't bother me is he worked with them in the past and they're friends. So it wasn't like a new thing, like, gotcha, bitch. Yeah. So, okay. And then Yasser may not remember this, but he might. 30 years ago, there were candidates matches in Vaikanze. And that was the year that I won the Brilliancy Prize for beating De Boer. And Yasser analyzed that game with me, and he didn't have a chessboard. We were eating at an Italian restaurant. Now, Yasser definitely remembers the Italian restaurant of Vaikanze. You might not remember the game. And that's the game where I sacked a rook and a Grunfeld, and his king ran all over the board. And a lot of Yasser's analysis, even though he didn't see the game and he wasn't using a chessboard, it was better than my analysis, so I used some of it when I made notes to the game. But anyway, in that event, not only was there Vaikanze, like the GMs and such, there was also candidates matches. One of the candidates matches was Dolmatov versus Yusupov. And as you all know, which means like only Yasser knows it, the rest of you don't, they had the same coach. And their coach was Mark Dvoretsky. And Mark Dvoretsky was there, but he said, yeah, I'm not working with either one of them. They got to fight it out. I can't help either one. Yeah. World Junior Champs. Go Yasser. What did Yasser do? World Junior Champs. Now, another Yasser story is he was a second to Jim Tarjan in an interzonal, before you guys were born. I think Tarjan and Yasser were born, but I'm not sure because it was in the 70s. Anyway, then it was somewhere in Eastern Europe. Yasser knows, I don't remember. And Tarjan met a woman, so he lost interest in the interzonal. Man, the truth hurts. Yeah, 1979 Riga. Yeah, Dolmatov and Artur. Yeah. She was a fox. I don't know who she is, but all I know is 1 minute Tarjan's trying to get a candidate spot, and the next minute he's like, yeah, this tournament doesn't matter because I met this woman. So, and so forth. 1979 Riga. Good. Yeah. Karen's walking around upstairs. I'll be on Chess TV in about 2 minutes, so we'll have more viewers. Yeah. First time I met Tal. Yeah. Man, Tal in 79 was pretty good. As Yasser knows, and the rest of you don't, Tal tied for first with Karpov in Montreal 1979. I believe they both got 10 out of 14, but I wouldn't bet my life on it. We actually went up to that tournament, and we were there when Larson beat Karpov with black with the Scandi. That was the only game Karpov lost. Yeah. It's funny because Tal was about 2,700 then, as was Karpov. And Tal was world champion like 18 years before that, but he was like second ranked in the world when he was like, he wasn't at his best, obviously, when he was 18 years after he was world champion. But yeah, Tal was good. Yeah. Yeah, in Riga, he crushed the competition. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Are you excited for college football? More excited that Yasser's here on my stream. So, yeah. Yasser and I worked together in China. That was fun in Ningbo. And the best part of Ningbo, Yasser's not going to think this is the best part. Yasser's going to think the best part is when he beat Judah Polgar on her birthday and beat Mamedyarov. Those are the things he remembers. And I think he won a medal too. Terrible. The best thing about Ningbo was the closing ceremony. And Yasser, just like in Blazing Saddles, went up to everybody and said, "Excuse me while I whip this out." Okay? And it wasn't the proclamation. He had like a Chinese outfit on that he had for a long time, and he whipped it out. Man, that was great. I don't know what that was, but it was great. I mean, he had this great garb on. God damn. Yeah. Not only did he beat Polgar on her birthday, he was up more material than atoms in the universe. If you look up World Team Championship Ningbo 2011 and look up the game Sarawine Polgar on your databases and on the internet and the sky in your dreams, YASSER was up a lot of material. Okay? YASSER had 2 rooks for a minor piece. Yeah, and then when the game ended, YASSER took Judith's score sheet and said, "Happy birthday to the ground," and threw her score sheet down. What am I, a joke? Man. And that's like 2 jokes. Yeah. Yeah, 2 rooks for a night. God damn. However, YASSER beat Mamedyarov so convincingly. A couple months later, I was playing in a tournament in St. Louis, like the St. Louis Open, I don't know, some tournament, St. Louis Club Championship, and I played Richard Benjamin, the chess player, not the actor, and he whipped out what Mamedyarov played against YASSER, and I whipped out what YASSER played against Mamedyarov, and Richard Benjamin's king walked up the board, like to H3, a move like 18, and he was black. So I won that game, and then some guy who's not a fan of, of anybody in the St. Louis Chess Club, someone from Kansas City, he said, "That's the worst game a master has ever played ever." Man, the truth hurts. Yeah. Yeah, YASSER beat Mamedyarov pretty good. Now, YASSER might not remember this until I say it, because, things that happened 10 years ago you don't remember. YASSER at the World Team Championship not only did really well, he beat, like, the guy from Egypt, or maybe the guy from France who was Egyptian. I don't know. He beat somebody who was like a weak GM from, like, Egypt. And when the game was over, they were analyzing. These guys were like, YASSER was their superstar. YASSER was the hero of all time because, he was born in Syria. So he was like them, son. So, like, YASSER was the hero. Yeah. Please show I'm crying over here. I can try to. YASSER's on this stream.
Oh, yeah?
He hasn't seen the intro.
I saw him that he was on here.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was still
I'm telling a lot of YASSER stories. Yeah, some of them involve him and some don't. Yeah, the Richard Benjamin game I might not have. He said hi to you.
Hey, YASSER, how's it going?
Yeah, there's almost no chess on this stream because we're talking about YASSER.
Hey, you have to come visit. We need to do a hot tub stream.
Yeah, you don't have to do a hot tub stream, but you could. But you should visit anyway because, why not? I'm laughing over YASSER stories. That's right. Yeah. I don't know all the particular details, but I know some of them. Yeah.
Hey, B8 Checkmate, how's it going?
Yeah. I remember who YASSER was playing. It was like 2490, 2520 GM, and you just rolled over him. And then you guys were analyzing, but you were the hero. Even like his teammates were rooting for you. So, because like yeah. Now you guys think YASSER's great. You think everything that happens to YASSER is the best. But I'm going to tell you the real YASSER stories. The things YASSER doesn't want you to know about. Okay? And the only one that matters is when YASSER travels. When YASSER goes anywhere, and YASSER travels a lot. YASSER's been to every country on Earth, and some that aren't countries anymore, or have never been countries. They're like countries in an alternate universe. When YASSER travels, and they look at his passport, he's randomly selected to go into the back room and get a talking to. Every time. And why is that?
His name?
Nope. His name doesn't help, but there's another reason. The name doesn't help, but there's another reason.
I don't know.
His passport says, born in Syria.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't like that. So he's randomly selected. When's the last time you were in Syria? Do you have contacts in Syria? And YASSER's like, I left Syria when I was a baby. Like, I got nothing. Yeah. John Donaldson, Rusty. I started with 3 blacks. Good. Yeah. Yeah, the truth hurts. There was an Olympiad, I'm going to guess in the 80s, but I don't know when it was. And Fedorowicz had black almost every game, and he was killing it, so they kept giving him black. They were like, well, you're winning, so have black again. So the truth hurts. Now, one of the negative stories of an Olympiad is they were trying to get a woman to be a Grandmaster. I'm going to say it was Pia Cramling, but I could be wrong about that. And this isn't the player's fault. This is the fault of the rules. And it was an Olympiad. I think it was Pia Cramling, but it could be another woman. And they made sure that she had white every game. So you're on board 4, then you're on board 3, then you're on board 4. If you have 9 whites and get a GM norm, very suspicious. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. The person didn't get a GM norm. I think it was Pia, but it could have been somebody else. But yeah, giving her white every game to get a GM norm, yeah, come on. You think that was Raymond Keene? Man, that's like 2 jokes that YASSER made in one sentence. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, wouldn't that be against the rules?
What rules? You're on the team. You play whatever board. You don't switch with somebody. You just take somebody out to rest. So yeah. It just turned out that she got
Oh, I see.
Oh, the guy looked up the Sarawon Polgar game from Ningbo. Yeah.
Well, that's
YASSER is in the chat. Well, YASSER didn't hurt, but also we're on Chess TV now. If you're on Chess TV and didn't notice, YASSER's in the chat. So I'm not playing chess anymore. I'm telling bedtime stories because YASSER's getting tired. It's like 1 a.m. where YASSER is. Terrible. I'm assuming he's home. I don't know, he could be anywhere. Travels a lot. Yeah. Conversely, when he's traveling with his wife, they're like born in the Netherlands, live in the, okay, you can go. So when they go home, she gets to go home and he has to stay in the airport, choke on his rage. Yeah. What happened to the academy? COVID didn't help. Yeah. Yeah, COVID hurt our business. We were actually closed for 7 months during COVID, then we reopened. So it wasn't, COVID didn't help. But we'll make more money and do less work, like being here in the basement. Although Karen said that I'm not going to do less work because you can't do less than 0. So she's like, oh, it's the same for you. But she gets to do less, yeah. When we were open after we were closed, we were open 2 days a week instead of 5, 6, or 7. And those 2 days we were open for 3 hours. Then eventually we reopened for real. But, by that time, some people just weren't coming because of COVID. And, we didn't get the turnouts that we were hoping and so forth.
Yeah.
But we were trying to build the business, so we hired more employees. But that's just more expensive.
Yeah, but they're not the reason.
I'm sure it's really him, Pravid Deuce. Although is Pravid Deuce David Pruce? That's what I'm not sure about. Yeah, although obviously it's not. Yeah. I hope chess will become as yoga. I need translation into English. What does that mean?
Hey, Slav Felix, how's it going?
Yeah, exactly. Now, let me tell you some good YASSER stories. We were in St. Louis doing nothing, because we're good at that, and it was Spencer's birthday. So YASSER's like, all right, as a birthday present, let's play some Blitz. So that was Spencer like that. Spencer didn't do well. Like, let me tell you how well Spencer didn't do, just so you know. He did worse than I did last night against that guy's name I can't pronounce, which is hard to do. You were on Lasker's appeal committee. Now, even though some people are kidding about Lasker, in Montreal 79, I met Edward Lasker. That is a true story. All right, for several $1 trillion. Several.
I'm not going to know.
Right, that's why it's several.
All right, go ahead.
Who was the only American who played in Montreal 79?
Montreal 79?
Uh-huh. I'll give you a hint if you want, it helps.
Yeah, give me a hint.
Originally from Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lubomir Kovalik. Now, there was a double round robin. In the first half, Kovalik was one of the organizers and like the lowest rated player, so they took him to school, right? And then the second half, he came back from school. He stopped organizing, and he had the best score in the second half, which is insane because it had Karpov, Tal, Timon, Spassky, and those were the weak players, right? Imagine when I get to the good players. Yeah. Go, Lubomir.
Yeah, he was a Kavalanche guy.
Yeah. Now, Lubosh was really proud of that result, I would say. Okay, now, what's Lubosh's most famous game? The game's named after him. It has him in the title.
I don't know.
The Kavavalanche.
Oh, it is that one.
Yeah, he's Kavalik, Kavavalanche.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and who was he playing?
What, Kavalik?
Yeah, who was his opponent?
You just said.
I did.
Oh, I thought you said.
He is Kavalik.
Oh.
Yeah, Kavavalanche, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Kavalik, yeah.
No, I knew Kavalik was.
Right, who's the other guy?
That was,
who was his
Lubaj.
opponent?
Who's Lubaj?
That's his first name.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that was
Yeah,
his first name.
Lubomir, they call him Lubaj.
Oh, I thought that was the other guy.
Nobody can pronounce him.
So, no, I don't know who the opponent was.
Eddie Gufeld.
Really?
Fast Eddie from The Hustler.
Yeah.
Right. And what's funny about that game, there's several things that are funny. Mm-hmm. It was a student Olympiad, because in my life, those guys were always old. But they weren't old, because a long time ago, they weren't old.
Yeah.
And they play, and Kavalik played for the Czechoslovakia, which no longer exists. But he still played for them. Yeah, that was great. Mm-hmm. Fast Eddie was 300 pounds. Right. I thought he meant Fast Eddie from the movie. He means Eddie Gufeld. That's right. Yeah. Because in the movie, the other guy was 300 pounds.
Oh, really?
Minnesota Fats. Yeah.
Was Gufeld 300 pounds too?
Gufeld wasn't small. I don't know if he was 300, but he might have been. Yeah. 1962 is correct. Yeah. Jackie Gleason, right. Eddie Gufeld, I have many funny stories, right? Most of them involve him swearing with his opponent at the board. That's most of the stories.
Dave has a Gufeld story where he's swearing. Did he play in L.A. a bit?
Yeah. He lived out there too.
Dave knew him from. He told me some funny stories.
Yeah, but my favorite Gufeld story is Gufeld was playing, I think, Joel Benjamin in Hawaii, and it was like a drawn queen and pawn ending, and one of them hung mate and won, but I don't know which one. One of them hung mate and won. It's funny whichever one did. Probably Yasser remembers. Etc. I like Gufeld's book. Okay, now Gufeld played a very, 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 very ... very, very, very famous game. Who was his opponent, and what's the name of the game?
I'm not gonna know. I don't know.
Yeah, see, Kangaroo got it. He was playing Bagheerov, and he called it his Mona Lisa.
I have heard of Mona Lisa.
Right.
I just haven't.
You mean the painting?
No.
Oh.
But I wouldn't remember Bagheerov.
Right. Are Gufeld and Grunfeld related? Ugh. That reminds me of something funny that happened at the World Youth. There's a Christopher Wu and a Christopher Gu who played for the U.S. in the World Youth. And one guy from another country played them both. And when he got paired with the second one, we'll just say it was Christopher Gu, he said, "Are you related to Christopher Wu?" They're both named Christopher, and the second name's Chloe. Are you related? And he's like, "What? Am I related?" What did Yasser say? Yasser said, "I'm Yasser."
Hey, you want me to scroll? I can scroll it back up.
Oh, no, the thing is, Yasser's in green on my computer, and he's in red on yours.
Oh, you're
Gufeld played in the first USSR championship as white. Knight F3 at B4. Sislav. Who the punk in the tournament was. That's right.
I wish that we could get all these anecdotes and stories that you and Yasser always tell need to be written down so they're not forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Go Yasser is correct. The more you donate, the more Yasser shows up and gets his cut. Ooh, 50,000 bits badge. 200 at a time. Yeah. Yeah, Gufeld and Suwata Talik were swearing at each other at the board in Vegas in it must have been the North American Open. Maybe it was in Reno. Yeah. I talked to Gufeld about that, and he said he shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. And I was like, what? How could you do that? Yeah. Thanks, Grungewart. Those are for Yasser.
Yay. Thank you, Grungewart.
Mm-hmm. Man, I've seen Yasser at like 100 chess tournaments. Mm-hmm. My earliest memory of Yasser, Suat is formidable. That's right. Yeah. My first memory of Yasser, well, actually could have been my second. The first two times I remember talking to Yasser, in 1985, this is a bad memory for Yasser. In 85, there was the U.S. Open, and Spassky played, and it was in Hollywood, Florida, at the Diplomat Hotel. And I think Yasser actually tied for first. But anyway, that's not the memory. The memory was, before the tournament, Yasser gave a simul to the Denker players. That was the first Denker. Denker was there. Mm-hmm. That's how 85. And I tied for third. I got third on tie breaks. Fishbein won. Mm. And the reason it should be a bad memory for Yasser, unless he doesn't remember, is that simul took 100 years. That's the longest simul I've ever been to. Because those guys were good. Those guys are like 1,900 to 2,400, right? YASSER wasn't playing like 1,000 players. YASSER was playing like good tournament players. Yeah. Man, that simul never ended. That simul was forever. God damn. And then my other memory of YASSER is I was sitting in Columbus, Ohio doing nothing, because I'm good at that. And that was probably in 86 or 87. YASSER will confirm. And YASSER was running for president. Yeah.
Yeah.
President of the U.S. Chess Federation. Okay. So he was traveling around the country playing in local yokel events. Yeah, he played in like the Cardinal Open or something. So he was like, hey, I'm YASSER and vote for me. And we were like, well, we could vote for lunatics instead. So we got him on that. He's like, wait a minute, I didn't think of that. Yeah. I'm guessing YASSER regrets running for president because choking on his own rage. Yeah. That was 87. Yas for Prez buttons. I still got some. See, I'm not making these stories up. Yeah. Go YASSER. YASSER, I talk about Shirazi a lot because nobody in my chat's ever heard of Shirazi. And I tell them about the U.S. Championship where we got half a point. Truth hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that U.S. Championship, as you may know, in fact, you might have told me, Shirazi did not have the worst score with black. And he got half out of like 16. Mm-hmm. The worst score with black was Kudrin. Yeah, he drew with Gingy, right? With Kudrin got 0 out of 8 with black. And his one draw, Shirazi was with black. So there you go.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Kudrin used to not only play the dragon, which he always does, he used to play the Benoni instead of the Grunfeld. So he's playing Benoni, Grunfeld, and dragon, and he was losing all of his games. But if he was playing 2200s, then he win all of his games. So, you know, I'm killing you. I remember stuff from thousands of years ago. Here's something YASSER probably doesn't know because he doesn't care. In one of the U.S. championships, it was either 84 or 85. It was either 84 or 85, I don't know. I think it was 84. Delugi played. Delugi tied for third and went to the interzonal as a consequence. Mm-hmm. Before that tournament, Delugi played in the U.S. Junior Championship. You got that? Mm-hmm. Now, you would expect the U.S. Junior Championship would be easier than the U.S. Championship.
Yeah.
You'd assume wrong. Delugi was the highest rated player by 100 points in the junior.
Really?
Right? And after 4 rounds, he had half. You know, what is he, Nepo? Oh, snap. Gotcha, Nepo. Okay, and then he ended up tying for like 3rd or 4th or 5th, right? Mm-hmm. After he was half out of 4, we were staying at the dorms in Ojai at a private school, California, and Delugi was laying on the couch crying when he was half out of 4. Yeah. So the truth hurts. How old
was he then?
Well, he's like 19, I guess. Yeah. But he qualified for the interzonal in the U.S. Championship. That was easier than the U.S. Junior. U.S. Junior was tough. Now, all U.S. Juniors are tough. And about YASSER's U.S. Juniors in the 70s, somebody told me, it may have been YASSER, maybe been Michael Rode, somebody said the U.S. Junior Championship 1 year in the 70s was stronger than the World Junior. Everybody from the U.S. Junior became like a GM, which happened in one of mine too. And the winner of the U.S. Junior was your favorite player. She's never heard of him. Mm-hmm. Mark Deason.
Yeah.
And Mark Deason won the World Junior Championship because it was easier than the U.S. Junior Championship. Yeah. And YASSER, as you know, also was the World Junior Champion. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got our own World Junior Champions also. One of our U.S. Juniors had Stuart Rachels, me, Patrick Wolf, Alex Fishbein. And then Stuart Rachels tied for first in the U.S. Championship and did become a Grandmaster. Man, chess is hard. Yeah, U.S. Juniors were tough. And they had the Whitehead brothers. Mm-hmm. You can name them both. Also, you can name one of them. Paul and Jay Whitehead. Yeah, R.I.P. to at least one of them, at least. Possibly both.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them.
Yeah. I remember everything in chess. I can't remember Karen's middle name, but I remember everything in chess. Yeah. Now they give you, yeah. And if you win the World Junior, you're already a GM now. Like non-GMs never win. Stuart Rachels is a philosophy professor, University of Alabama, right, currently. And he's been to our home here. He's been to our chess center. we played in the Nationals Bridge in Atlanta. Me and Stuart are like that, son. Yeah, Stuart's a nice guy. Go Stuart. Also, there used to be a thing about his book.
I might have taken that off, but I'm not sure.
There used to be a Moobot. He wrote a book that was published last year by New and Chess.
We need to retire some of the Moobots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That one might have been.
Go Stuart is correct. Yeah. I played in my first U.S. championship in Key West in '94. I lost the first round to Larry Christensen, my first game ever, and I had forced checkmate, and I lost in time trouble. Then I played YASSER in the second round, and he was much, 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 much better the whole game, like more than much. Like for you guys, much. For YASSER, like winning. And then somebody he moved 35 and 40, he messed it up, and I probably could have drawn, and then I just lost like nothing. Those were my first two games. Third game, I played Boris Crybaby Cryman. He was black and a King's Indian. He was checkmating me. My king ran out and I won. So I won a game. Hooray. And in that tournament, YASSER has two games that I remember that aren't mine. One he'll like, one he won't. I'll give you the one he doesn't like. He played Walter Brown, and Walter Brown beat YASSER, not too difficult with black, I think. And then YASSER told me he doesn't do well against Brown. Like there's something there. I don't know. And then YASSER played Kaidanov, and this is one of the funniest postmortems I've seen because of one line. It was a Catalan, and YASSER played Bishop B4 check early. So it was like a BOGO Indian Catalan. And I think, what's his name? Kaidanov played Knight D2. And then for no reason, early in the game, he played Bishop E7. YASSER did. Not because of A3, just, okay, Bishop E7. And YASSER crushed Kaidanov, god damn, with black. And when the game ended and they were analyzing it, Kaidanov said, so after Bishop E7, you're just down to tempo, right? From theory. And he said, yeah. And he says, okay. Then they just kept analyzing. Man, did he get crushed. God damn. YASSER wins a lot of games in U.S. championships with black. Another game I remember was in Seattle in the early 2000s. It was the famous and or infamous last round. And it was the draw in 5 moves. And then Shabalov beat Akobian to become the U.S. champion. And the organizer of the event, who's a good friend of YASSER's, he was choking on his own rage. Because it was the last round, and every game was a 5-move draw. So he gave Shabalov and Akobian an extra $5,000. And then he gave the finger to all the other players. In the last round, YASSER was black against Dmitry Gurevich in a QGA. God damn. That was the beating of a lifetime, right? So look up that game. Dmitry, not the Gurevich now, the Gurevich then. There's another D Gurevich now. I think he quit chess.
Wait, now who gave the extra $5,000?
The organizer said, you guys are all scum except for Shabalov and Akobian.
Who is the organizer?
Maybe Eric Anderson or Eric Anderton. I mean, he knows. YASSER knows. Yeah. Extra prize $5,000. That's right. Yeah. He gave both of them. They're like, why'd you give Akobian $5,000 for getting the beat down? They're like, okay, you give Shabalov $5,000, he won. He's the champion.
Right.
You give the guy who lost $5,000 just because they played a game.
Right.
And then the disgruntled players were like, Akobian would accepted a draw every move on move 3, 4, 5. He's black. It wasn't because he wanted to play. He would have drawn immediately if he could. Now, we won't talk, Eric Anderson, yeah. We won't talk about the 70s and 80s. YASSER denies everything. And as far as I know, YASSER wasn't involved in this. But in the 70s and 80s, the U.S. Championship had a lot of fishy games. They don't have them now as far as I know. YASSER knows better than me. There was a lot of U.S. Championship games if the players were Fedorowicz, and then if he was playing Benjamin or maybe DeFermian, the games were just drawn. They were drawn in 5-10 moves. They didn't play. Now, here's the funniest story. Karen's favorite Grandmaster of all time, she doesn't even know. I'm going to tell her when she guesses wrong. Who's your favorite Grandmaster of all time? You'll agree when I tell you.
You?
No? When I tell you, you'll be like, oh, yeah, him. Even you don't know, but I know.
I have a favorite.
Yes, Tony Miles.
Oh, he is kind of my favorite.
See?
Yeah, I love Tony
See?
Miles.
Yeah. Okay, so Tony Miles, as you all know, he decided he would play in the U.S. Championship. So he got a P.O. box in the U.S. and said, I live in the U.S. And then, yeah, Tony. And then he played in the U.S. Championship. Now, there was a game that Tony lost where somebody sacrificed a piece and then tore him a new one. It was a great game. So when that happened, I'm not even sure it was that event. It might have been another event, but doesn't matter. When that happened, the players who always draw each other, like Benjamin Fedorowicz and anybody, they played that game. They played the Miles game. Then they would play the sacrifice that wins. Then they would agree to a draw. Okay? And the funniest game was when they did it in reverse. White lost the tempo on purpose. Then Black played the sacrifice and White, and they agreed to a draw. That was great. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't like Miles playing in the U.S. Championship because he wasn't the most American. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were like, you, what are you doing? You can't have a P.O. box to play in the U.S. Championship. And he said, watch me. Now, the reason Karen likes Tony Miles is I introduced her a year or two ago to the gurney where he's laying on the gurney playing in the tournament.
Yeah, Ben did a lecture on Tony.
Yeah, and she was like, what? And yeah, he said his back hurt, so he laid on his stomach on a gurney, and he played his games from there. Yeah, the truth hurts. Yeah. Yeah, his best game was against Hubner.
Thank you, Bessie.
Against Hubner, they agreed to a draw before the game, and Hubner played bad on purpose to show that he agreed to a draw. He's like, well, this isn't a real game. The game was D4, E5, takes, Queen H4, Knight here, Queen A4. He was just, he's like, look, we're not playing this game. Yeah. You met Tony Miles in Kuala Lumpur in 1985. Nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh.
Thanks, Bussy. Yeah. Go Tony Miles. I played Tony Miles several games. I don't know how. He was playing in all these open tournaments where you might face me instead of Tilburg and, Vaikanze. At some point, Tony's strength went down and he just kept he was pretty young for his strength to go down. I mean, another example of that is Elvest. I wouldn't put Elvest as good as Tony Miles, but Elvest was pretty good. Elvest was top 10 in the world. I mean, for briefly. And then he wasn't. Yeah, then he was, like under 2,600 FIDE. Terrible.
You played Miles in a simul, Imanu? That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played Miles several times. Me and Tony were like that. No, not really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, did you ever hear back from the guy? Weren't you trying to get a score sheet?
They said they're good. The guy who has them is going to send them to FIDE or send them to ChessBase, and they'll put it in some version of ChessBase. Mm. Yeah, actually, YASSER, he was third.
Maybe it's
it was Kasparov, then Karpov, then Elvest. Yeah, shocking the world, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, if YASSER wants to do a 10-hour series of lectures that are enthralling, then he could just do it. There wouldn't even be any chess. Okay, YASSER could just do it on Valery Salov. Yeah. You know who Valery Salov is? Mm-mm. Yeah, there was a song written about him by Steve Winwood. Valerie, checkmate me, Valerie. So Valerie was really, 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 really good at chess. God damn. And then he was really, really, really good at being crazy. He was good at both. He was world class. And he just quit chess. But he was definitely top 10 in the world. Strategically, positionally, he was a genius. And just crazy. I mean, just crazy. I mean, he said bad stuff about YASSER. You ever heard anybody say anything bad about YASSER? Valery Salov, crazy. God damn. But man, was he good at chess. Yeah. Hey, Marriott today. Why are you awake? You're in Italy. Shouldn't you be asleep? He's like a night porter at a Madrid hotel now. Yeah, I heard he worked at a hotel in Spain. But I heard that a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, he was probably top 5 in the world. But crazy. Yeah. I mean, crazy. Not normal crazy. Yeah. And he was a nice guy when you talked to him, but then he eventually went, truth hurts. Yeah, Ivanchuk's great.
I haven't seen his channel yet.
However, since YASSER's here, let's talk about the game Saruhan Ivanchuk. When YASSER was white, and beat him in like 18 moves. I don't even, it was like a King's Indian Benoni mixture, and then YASSER gave him the smackdown. Not the usual YASSER like outplays him, and YASSER just like ran him over with like a truck. Yeah, I know YASSER's best games. Go YASSER. Thanks, Hamid. I think YASSER likes that game. Yeah. I can't show you, it's too good. Yeah. YASSER's like, yeah, I beat Ivanchuk. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's hard to beat Ivanchuk Kasparov when Kasparov had no legal moves and his queen was on h8. But still, YASSER fell asleep. No, YASSER always says, like, bye when he leaves. He doesn't just leave and doesn't tell anybody. Yeah, he's very, very polite and, you know, like that. Mm-hmm. Free up YASSER's weekend. I can't show you, it's too good. Yeah. Is that YASSER? No, it's YASSER. It's 1,000,000% YASSER.
Yeah, we already went through this.
Let's look at his game with Ivanchuk, because you know why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to look at something.
Definitely.
Well, I got to move this here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like his game with Ivanchuk. We have to talk about the game that he won, not the other games we're not going to talk about. Yeah, that looks right. God damn, it's the first game I looked at. View. That game didn't last very long. 1997. Man, Ivanchuk was good in 97. Unless he played YASSER, then he wasn't as good. Let's see. Live chess. And then how do I get an analysis board? That's not it. That's not it. I got one. I'm not as dumb as my best testing indicates. All right. Now don't blink, because YASSER wins really fast. Yeah. So get careful. All right. YASSER's white against Ivanchuk in 1997, before half of you were born. It's true. About half of them. Yeah. Yeah. YASSER's white. Ivanchuk plays the King's Indian. Okay. Now YASSER was playing Bishop D3, Knight GE2 a lot. And Gregory Serper was playing Knight E2, Knight G3 a lot. And we know who's better, so yeah. Yeah, YASSER liked to do that. Okay. So he's got the space. F3, never play F3. Solid. Yeah, and he's trying to control C5 and play F5. So, yeah, truth hurts. So this gives me a bad memory, YASSER, this Bishop H6 move. You see how Ivanchuk hung his bishop, then he resigned? Mm-hmm. Right, except obviously he didn't hang his bishop, he's Ivanchuk. So YASSER, when I was 12, I was rated like 2040, and I was playing Thomas Mazachovsky, who was like 2200. And I don't remember the exact position, but you know, it'll be similar to the exact position. I used to play the same-ish. It's all the same-ish to me. And I don't remember the move order, but what I do remember was he played this and this. I do remember that. Okay. And I think he played 98, but I'm not sure. And I played this. And that's the first chapter of my book, Cry Like a Grandmaster. What did he do?
What did he do? Yeah,
that's bad. And I should feel bad. YASSER's game reminded me of a game when I was 12. Damn. Harsh. Mm-hmm. See, now in the YASSER game, okay, in this position, he played Bishop H6. Why doesn't that lose a whole piece? Why not? Why can't YASSER just take this and be up a piece?
I'm not sure.
Takes. How does black get his piece back?
Oh, yeah, there's a check.
Queen H4 check. Never play F3 when your piece back. Mm-hmm. So in my game, with whatever his name is, Thomas Mazachovsky, also known as the Maz, when I played here, yeah, he played there. And then I lose a bishop.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same except, you know. Now, there's a variation in the King's Indian where it's like Bishop G5, And then they play h6, and if you take on h6, they play knight takes e4 and queen h4. I mean, they're begging you to play here. Okay, but YASSER, he didn't fall for no banana in the tailpipe. Okay, so YASSER played queen d2, and they traded c6, and so forth. So he's playing very strategically Ivanchuk. He's like, my dark square bishop's bad. Hopefully Gufel didn't see this game, otherwise. And YASSER's bishop is bad, so I did good. Okay. However, as YASSER would point out, there's a timing issue in chess. Okay. YASSER has all of his pieces out and can castle either way, and YASSER likes to have more space. YASSER's pawn's on d5. Okay. And YASSER and I were going to share a room once, and he's like, I need more space. I mean, so he just, yeah. That's all made up, but it's still funny. And also, these pieces suck and blow at the same time. So even though if black makes 20 moves in a row, he's strategically better, it's not his turn. And he's, okay, so obviously black's not going to castle queen side, because it would be illegal to ever do so. So YASSER said, well, you're also not going to castle king side. And then YASSER's going to open the center and say,
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. Right. Okay. So Ivanchuk played, the positional attacking YASSER's bishop. YASSER saw it, defended his bishop. Queen b6, attacking YASSER's pawn, or so he thought. Always retreat. And then he played king e7. Terrible. Boo, boo, king e7. That does, king e7 does defend the d pawn. Right, so if I take this, I can't play rook takes d6. Also, when his bishop moves, his rooks are connected. Mm-hmm. So like if queen g7, for example, he could move his bishop and his rooks defend each other. So Ivanchuk thought he was the greatest, right? Now, unfortunately, Ivanchuk couldn't find the resign button because they weren't playing on the internet. Okay, YASSER played f4, and this is an unusual kind of crushing win from YASSER. Usually, YASSER has the king on e7. He's not the one checkmating the king on e7. And in fact, one of my favorite YASSER games, I already forgot who he was playing. It was one of those blocked Benoni games, and it was all blocked up, and YASSER left his king in the center and crushed the guy on the king side. Damn, I forgot who he was playing. I've shown that game before. But, all right, nobody can remember. Okay, so YASSER played f4 because he's going to checkmate Ivanchuk. And Ivanchuk took, terrible. Rook f1. Notice, if he castles, he's walking into discovered check. So he just played rook f1. Rook f1 reminds me of in 1990 in Reykjavik when I played rook f1 against Vladimir Tukmakov. And do you know why I won that game? Because the Ukraine is weak. Yeah. I played rook f1. It was a Dutch. YASSER was at that tournament. He was playing for the U.S. team in the Nordic countries, the U.S., England, and Russia. Those were the four teams. And we ate once at Pizza Who's Sid with YASSER and Benjamin and Brown and me and like 5 other people. That was fun. Yeah. There's some funny stories from that dinner, by the way. I played YASSER at the Blitz tournament there. YASSER won the Blitz tournament. It had like 900 Grandmasters. And YASSER won, and I came in 3rd. I had just become an IM. I mean, there were Grandmasters everywhere. Like, I fell and hit my head. I tripped over 2 Grandmasters. That's how many Grandmasters there were. Right. Brown kept saying, I want this, and I want that, and I want this. And the waitress is like, all right, leave me alone. Because he wanted everything. Yeah. And then a song was written by Queen after they were there. Mm-hmm. They weren't famous then. They were there watching Brown order, and they wrote a song. I want it all. I want it all, and I want it now. And then Walter sued them successfully. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this king's not good. And this isn't good, and this isn't good, and this isn't good, and this isn't good. But YASSER, he's got the rook, he's got the queen, he's got the knight. Here comes e5, right? Because he's got his rook here. So he's got a lot of attacking force. This king has nothing. Okay, Ivanchuk played rook f8. That's the engine move. Queen f4. Now, Yasser's got 2 pieces on the D pawn, 1 for each of you, and queen f6 check, and e5. Now, this is equal material, because I said so, right? And the engine says Yasser's up 5. When it's equal material and you're up 5, that's like half of the Carlsen Nepo games. Okay, so f6, boo, boo. Okay, and Yasser looked right at Ivanchuk and said, don't you know Ben's never play f6? And then Ivanchuk's like, I don't think Ben made that rule yet. And Yasser's like, come on, Ben's going to, come on. And then Ivanchuk's like, yeah, I guess. Okay, so he crashes on through. Now Yasser's threatening queen takes pawn check and knight d5 check, both with advantage. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ivanchuk played queen takes, stopping them both. Knight d4. You can't play queen here or queen here because knight d5 check wins your queen. Okay, you agree, right? So he played here. God damn. Knight d5 check. Now remember, Ivanchuk is black.
Yeah.
That's the worst position in the history of everything. Every white piece is perfect. Yeah. Now, I always say, always play bishop f1. Okay? And Yasser's bishop b1 is the same. We're the same, you and me. We're not the same. You're some, I'm an American, and you're some lunatic, crazy. That's from Falling Down. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a great scene when he says, we're the same. And Michael Douglas says, we're not the same. Mm-hmm. Remember that? The Army-Navy guy? That guy's great.
At the store.
That guy's the genius. That guy's a genius actor, the unknown actor. Okay. Now, right. So the reason bishop b1 is good is the bishop is fine there. Nothing wrong with that. But more importantly, the bishop isn't getting in the way of white's pieces. There's a lot of squares the bishop could be on, and you're like, get that bishop out of there so my other pieces can do stuff. Right. Okay, so king d8, setting up for the next game if it's 960. Mm-hmm. If it's not 960. Mm-hmm. Okay. Queen takes d6 check. Bishop d7, and then Yasser played knight b5. Now, some of you are wondering, why doesn't he play queen takes e4 check? Like 10% of you are wondering that. That's because Yasser's bishop is on b1. Oh, snap. So my question is, what's worse, Ivanchuk's position or the final position of Ivanchuk-Kasparov, where Kasparov's pieces were all huddled in the king side and couldn't move? See, the Kasparov one is more amazing because Kasparov doesn't lose like that. That's not how Kasparov loses, except that game he did. So Ivanchuk has like one of the greatest wins ever and one of Yasser's most crushing defeats ever. Now, Yasser, that was 22 moves. Have you ever beaten someone who was top 5, top 10 in the world like that, son? Because that's not a usual, yeah. And now it's plus 12. So Ivanchuk resigned, and then some. Let's see what Yasser has to say. He says, oh yeah, I win like that all the time. Yeah, if I told you black was Ivanchuk, you would think like this is a blitz game, but you'd be wrong. Yeah. The game with Yasser was pretty boring. I've played Yasser several times. But the good thing about the Yasser game was I learned in this pawn structure that I had with f5 and d5 that I should play king h8, knight g8, knight f6, which I've done on stream many times. And then my knight gets good, etc. I did a nice job versus Korchnoi. But you've beaten Korchnoi more than once. Philipson drew with London. Was that a Bogo Indian? That's my recollection. Mm-hmm. But if it was 80 years ago, then I could be wrong. Yeah, very good trying to learn. Yeah. Reverse Benko. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that game. All right, we'll do whatever Yasser says because he's better than me. Korchnoi, and then Hanoi Hilton. Sarawon, Phillips. Good enough. Let's see. No, that's the game that Yasser lost in the U.S. Open. I was there at that game. The 83 U.S. Open in Pasadena. Man, Korchnoi was good in 83. God damn. That's funny because Yasser went there to work with Korchnoi. Yeah. It was canceled, and then he played Korchnoi in the U.S. Open. Yeah, truth hurts. I thought I got rid of this. I did, okay. 1980. No, yes. See, YASSER has played Korchnoi 100 million times. So it's hard to find, it says YASSER was born March 24. Okay. Korchnoi 1980. Do you know what year it was, YASSER? Was it 82 or 83?
You won with black.
No, I know. I'm just, I need to, The problem is some places spell Korchnoi differently.
You can use chess base too.
Terrible. YASSER, why are you always black against Korchnoi? What's wrong with you? Start having white. Okay, it wasn't that game. Wasn't that game. It was that game. I found it. It was in Phillips and Drew, London, 1984. Yeah. Annotations by Orwell. Wow. Did you know that?
What?
Annotations by Orwell.
Orwell.
Yeah, it was 1984.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
George.
yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, YASSER's black. The more you donate, the more YASSER will come to the stream. All right. YASSER's black against Korchnoi. This game doesn't last very long either. All right, now close your eyes because I know what YASSER played next. Now, I remember before YASSER was born, and YASSER's older than me, so it's hard to understand. There was a game in the Informator, which we used to be like the Bible for us. Then we became atheists, so we don't read it. And Mihai Shuba, your favorite Romanian GM, and I lost to a Romanian GM last night, 8 in a row, but then I beat him. Nobody beats me 400 games in a row. Is A3, and he wrote A3 exclamation mark. Okay, so Korchnoi played B4. YASSER wanted to play E5, but didn't like the fact that it was hanging, so he played F6. And now Korchnoi was so confused, he couldn't even play the rest of the game. D3, E5. Now, to be fair to YASSER, he did think they were playing Connect 4, and he thought this would be the winning move, but he got it in first. Because, white wins in Connect 4, the person who goes first. So Victor could have played here and possibly claimed a draw. But he played A3? Yeah. This looks like the pawn structure YASSER had against Ivanchuk. Because it is. Mm-hmm. That's why it looks like it. Because it is. Yeah. Connect 5. There you go. YASSER knows what's up. Okay, so now this is a reverse Benko. In a normal Benko with F3, white plays knight here and then puts this knight over here. But he's a tempo down from that, so he played something else. I've had these kinds of positions a lot because I play F3 in the Benko. So I've had similar, with an extra tempo. All right. So YASSER's being a pawn grubber. He gives up the white squares. He gives up the 2 bishops. He puts his bishop behind all his pawns, and he says, I'm a pawn up. Now, YASSER did everything he could that wasn't good in chess to be a pawn up, but you guys at home, you know who you are. You're like, why doesn't Nepo play the King's Gambit? And why does he play this Gambit? And why doesn't he play what's that stupid knight C6 that Rosen likes? In the Petrov, knight C6.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, why isn't he playing the fried liver? Why doesn't he play the Stafford?
Yeah.
So you guys are like, why aren't these super GMs giving all their pawns and pieces away in the opening? Well, Korchnoi gave a pawn away in the opening. As a consequence, he got the 2 bishops, the white squares, and then he lost in 5 moves. So giving all your pawns away, maybe it's not good. Okay, let's have a look. Bishop D5, that's a really bad move. God, terrible. E4. Takes. Yeah. So white's down a pawn, and all of white's pieces are on the first rank. And he gave up his white squared bishop. So bishop d5, e4, very suspicious. Queen check. YASSER's like, let me play the pawn up endgame. And he says no. I mean, this is just awful play from Korchnoi. Queen here check, and then queen b3. Yeah, that's just, ridiculous. Terrible. B5, good. H3's hanging, good. See, white's position's pretty good. So far, this has been, I'd rather have black here than white in your position, when you were winning. But okay, obviously I like them both. Man, of course I played rook b1. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. He didn't like losing all of his pawns. But still, h5, god damn. I like the way YASSER pushes all his pawns on both sides of the board. And then black can't move. Or white can't move. Somebody. You got the V formation for victory. Good. So Victor played the groveling queen g2. Let's see what happens when he plays for active play, threatening the bishop and the rook, right? Mm-hmm. Now in this position, black has one move that wins, and every other move loses. Actually, no, one move draws. What's the winning move for black? There's only one winning move. Just one.
All right, let's see.
It's plus 10 for black. The other moves are no good.
The winning move for black is, I don't know, maybe h takes g3.
Right. Yeah, that's plus 10.
Okay.
Here's something that YASSER will laugh about. If YASSER plays here, which looks completely winning.
I did it.
This looks completely winning, right?
Yeah.
Now, Korchnoi plays the insane tactic, knight takes b5, threatening this, and this rook is overworked. And white's completely winning here. But he learned from the Ivanchuk game, not good for your king to be here. Right. If YASSER takes this way, his queen defends his rook, and he threatens unlimited number of mates. So white has to take this to not get mated. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so Korchnoi played queen g2. Now, if you were paying attention, you would know how many moves Korchnoi's made with his queen. You still wouldn't know. Played queen here, and queen here, and queen here, and queen here, and still lost. Okay. Now, one thing I've taught my students for years, and they don't listen, is you've had teachers tell you exchange pieces when you're up material. Here, YASSER's up a clear pawn. He's a pawn up for nothing, and he's better. So your teachers like trade queens, you're up a pawn, you win. When you trade queens, the only thing that matters is whose king is safer. And it's not this one. YASSER didn't play h4 not to checkmate his opponent. This king is the safest king ever. White could never attack that king, except in the variation I gave earlier, which lost in one move. YASSER plays here for the obvious reason. He wants Korchnoi to play f3. He's like, I dare you, I double dare you, right? Always play f3. Okay, and he played gh4, terrible. Rook takes h4. Now you might be saying, why is YASSER trading queens when I just said not to? Because YASSER's going to move his king and play rook h8 checkmate with advantage. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the main reason why. Here's a really funny variation. After this, instead of playing this checkmate, it doesn't work. I mean, it wins, because after king here, the rook's attacked. So there's no mate. So here's a funny engine line. Knight takes d5. And here's the reason. If you take it, I said if. Now when I play the same mate, I play f5 defending my rook, threatening mate, because there's no pawn here to take it.
Okay.
So if you don't take on d5, though, YASSER's up another pawn, and here comes knight c3, knight b4, knight f4, Papa John's. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So Korchnoi played... Korchnoi played... Wait, what happened? Queen g2, queen g4 takes, rook takes.
You said knight d5 is the game?
Wait, YASSER did play knight takes d5.
That's what
God damn. I didn't know you played that. I was just showing the engine line.
That was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because King H3 is the only defense, and then if F5, you take it. So YASSER took this, and he said, okay, take it.
That's pretty badass.
Right. So now Korchnoi played knight takes b5, confusing the audience. Korchnoi's like, would you take my knight so your rook doesn't checkmate me on the A file? He said it really nicely, too. So, you know. Now, YASSER wasn't having any of it. Okay, and let me tell you why. YASSER wasn't giving Korchnoi a draw, even though they were like that. And the reason is he was getting Korchnoi back for having him sleep in his bed when obviously he would be killed in the bed. That's why. So they were going to kill Korchnoi in his bed, and Korchnoi said, YASSER, you can sleep in my bed. Yeah, that happened.
I remember you telling this.
Yeah. So YASSER's like, oh, I could sleep in your bed and be killed? How about I kill you first? God damn. Okay, so YASSER moved his king up for obvious reasons. Okay, he wants to play rook h8 mate with advantage. That's a good move. Okay, so he played king h3 because he has to. Okay, now after f5, watch this thinking. Because the knight's on d5, okay, if you take it, because the rook's not defended, now you defend it. Now, if you can stop this, you're a better player than I am. Right. So after f5, Korchnoi resigned. Yeah. Then a book was written about this game because Korchnoi was so upset, and he called it Korchnoi's Complaint. What percentage of the chat gets that? 5%? Nah, less. 3%. Pi percent. Yeah.
They might get it.
So which game do you guys like better, this game or the Ivanchuk game? Now, here's the problem, YASSER. The people in my chat, they're not over the age of 40, 50, 60, so they don't know a lot about Korchnoi. They just heard he was good. Hey, he was good. I heard about him. Ivanchuk is more recent. So they're like, man, you beat Ivanchuk? Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, also had a nice game with Karpov. You've played Karpov 78 times. Is the game that you're referring to the one where he sacrificed a piece in the opening and then you were up a piece so you won? Is that the game you're talking about? In Sweden, that has to be Skellefteå, right? Or Skellefteå or something.
Wait, where are you reading? What?
Yeah. C4, D4, E4, F4. Oh, that game I don't know. I don't know that game. Yeah, Sweden 89 is the World Cup. Yeah. First pronunciation was correct. I can't pronounce. Oh, Haninga. Haninga, that's... Okay, let me explain that to you.
Hey, Louis.
There was a tournament there, and Kasparov won all his games with white, except against Joel Benjamin. He was the only one who drew him. And Joel said he made more money from that tournament than the rest of the year because they had good appearance fee, good prizes, great hotel. And... Not Haninga. Damn. And, yeah, I think Haninga is in, like, Switzerland. But anyway, as YASSER won against Carlsen, Carlsen wasn't even born when YASSER retired. Come on, give him a break. I've made the Portnoy's complaint joke too many times. No, they don't. No, they never get it. Never. Yeah. All right, let's look at the game from 1989. 1989, another... Because, YASSER loves Public Enemy. Sarouan versus Karpov, 1989.
Oh, sorry.
You all right over there?
Yeah, keep going. I'll be back in a second.
All right, I found it immediately. Oh, wait a minute. This is another game you won against Karpov in 89. There is no E4, D4, F4. Come on, YASSER. Stop beating him so much. No, Skellefteå 89... Was a QGA that you won where you traded queens on D4 early? Oh, you did play all those moves, but you played them later. All right, this is probably the game you're talking about. You probably didn't beat Karpov 30 times in 1989. Probably just beat him once or twice. Terrible. 1989. You had more space. Wait, why does it say Sarouan's black? Did you lose this game and I didn't see who was white? Probably. Oh, you're black and you lost this game. Boo, boo. Terrible. You beat Karpov 3 times in one tournament. Damn. All right, is this the game? Let's see. No, this is another game you beat. Oh, you lost this game. Stop losing to Karpov. You don't see me losing to Karpov. Well, because I don't play him. 1990 maybe. I don't have anything from 89. Come on, yes, remember the year. Okay, this game you won, and I see F4. No, this is a game you beat him in Haninga in 1990, but it was, you guys traded queens on move 5. That's a different game. Stop beating Karpov so much. Yeah, you won an exchange up ending. You guys traded queens on move 5, and you slowly beat him. That was the one? Okay, but you didn't... All right. 1990. I was alive then, barely. View. I was living in Europe in 1990. That was probably like around the corner. Look at my opening moves. Well, hopefully this is the right game. Because, a cursory glance, I wasn't impressed. But let's see. If this is the game you're talking about. Was this the game you're talking about? Thanks some guy on the internet for 10 subs. If only what's his name was here. Adam Wallace. Yes, okay. Well, first of all, I'm surprised that Karpov played G6. That's not very Karpov-like. Come on, Karpov. Yeah, this looks like you and Karpov could play this position well. It's just your game. F4. Yeah, the engine already loves your position. And F3. Bishop takes C4. Bishop H3. Wow. It's funny because, to me, knight E5 is a normal move. And when I play knight E5, the engine goes, boo, boo, you suck, you should quit chess. Man, tough engine. Yeah, bishop H3 is the engine move. The current, yeah, pretty good. So YASSER wants to play knight takes, and then he wants to take this bishop. If he had played it right away, the bishop would go to E6. Now the bishop can't go to E6 because I'll take it and play knight here. So knight here is a serious threat. The engine already loves white. YASSER's sacking a pawn, and he's getting the initiative with no queens on the board. Good, good. So I'm guessing when Anatoly played bishop c4, he only analyzed knight takes bishop here. He's like, yeah, okay, that's okay for me. But YASSER played here, which is better. F5 is the engine move. B3. Now it says he should play E4 or bishop B4. Okay, bishop B4 is good. Bishop B2 is good. Bishop D5 is good. The engine loves it. Wow, E4. God damn. Man, YASSER's not kidding around. Now, unfortunately, the game was now stopped because it was too exciting. So they had to calm people down, and they're like, okay, you're calm? Then they continued. Well, it is too exciting for, you can't, Okay, FE, that's the engine move. Long castle, sacking a piece. Good, good. Yeah, the problem with black's position is white wants to play knight here, and then bishop e5, and the rook is trapped. So even if you were playing an engine YASSER, you're the big favorite, because the engine's like, nah. Yeah, YASSER's got two bishops, what else? And then the bishop is pinned, and all his opponent's pieces are here, or they're pinned. So that's pretty good. Now here, Karpov was so good at chess that he played bishop g7. That's how good he is. And the funny thing is he still lost. It's funny. Ooh. Fisher random, yeah. You missed some stuff here.
Yeah.
I'll go back and show you.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is Fisher and Fisher. This is Yasser and Karpov. So they've already traded queens. They've already agreed to a draw, and they're signing the score sheets. And then Yasser's like, wait a minute, I can play for a win. The first part was a joke. Okay, so watch this. Watch how Yasser plays like a maniac, right? Because what happened was, this game's a long time ago. Right before the game, Yasser saw the movie Flashdance. True story. And then he played like a maniac. He's a maniac on the chessboard. And he's beating Karpov like he's never beaten him before. Although he has beaten Karpov many times. Okay, you paying attention?
I'm paying attention.
Yasser sacks a piece every move.
Yay.
Yeah, Yasser's white. So Yasser sacks a pawn, bam. And probably Karpov thought knight takes, attacks the bishop, then bishop e6. And Yasser played bishop h3. And he says, now when I play knight takes e5, you're not going to play bishop e6 because I'll take it and knight f7 check. So Yasser's just developing pieces. Okay, he blocked the bishop, Karpov did. b3, pinning the knight. Right. Okay, now you will know Yasser is the Lord when you see this move. This is not a move you would consider.
I'm sure not.
No, you'd never consider it. Wouldn't. I'm not saying you wouldn't play. I'm saying you wouldn't consider it. You'd be like, well, what's wrong with Yasser? Like if I was playing a bullet game, I would castle here so quick. Like before the guy went here, I would have pre-moved castles. Yasser played e4. God damn. The truth hurts. So now black is in a conundrum. But he did play the engine move, takes, and then you thought Yasser's knight was attacked, right? And Yasser castled. So Yasser just sacking everything, but look at all the play he's got. Now, if it was white's move, I said if, he would take the bishop, then he would take on e5 and the rook's trapped. And you don't want to lose your rook. You know who else doesn't want to lose their rook?
Karpov.
Karpov, right. So Karpov took the knight. Oh, give me the knight. Two knight. We're still doing this. We're still doing it. Karpov took that, not the engine favorite. Two bishops, what else? Knight d7. And now Yasser has two bishops and an extra exchange for a pawn. Now, this was the first time that this happened in chess. Dave Chappelle showed up. He wasn't famous yet. And he gave Yasser the wrap it up button. Yasser had to wrap this up. And then it was Yasser-S technique. Fianchettoed his bishop, his knight. That's good. Yeah. Now, if you guys were playing against Karpov, you would go here hoping for a repetition, and then Karpov wouldn't do it and beat you anyway. Man, the truth hurts. But Yasser preferred winning. The idea of h3 is obvious, to me.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when he was... So Yasser wants to take this pawn. And so he's like, hey, your knight's attack. Let's go here. And let's go bishop f2. And then Karpov's like, well, now your rook's not attacking my pawn. Thanks for the $50, Farty Party. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what you wrote, but thanks. Keep giving me $50 and I'll read it at some point. Okay. So pay attention. If this knight's not here, you take the f3 pawn because the knight's defending it. So Yasser's like, hey, Karpov, get off of my cloud. I said, hey, you, Karpov, get off of my cloud. Okay. So he's like, well, you can't take my pawn now because your rook's blocked. And Yasser's like, well, now I can take the pawn. And he's like, well, now I'll defend it. Do you see the cat and mouse game there? Okay. Now Yasser plays h3 for obvious reasons.
I mean, it's not obvious to me.
Yeah. Now, in this position, if it was my move, that's why I said, I would go here and then here. And then Karpov, and then Yasser, as is typical, Yasser would say, gotcha, bitch. Because then you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, another reason Yasser played this, which is a weird reason, it's only Yasser will understand it, the rest of them will be like, what? Is now the bishop is defended. It's good when you move your pieces out and they're defended. So Yasser's defending his bishop, and he's giving his bishop some extra squares. Once this pawn is gone, Yasser can celebrate. With this pawn still here, it's annoying. So as usual, the game centers around f3. Never play f3. Okay, so Yasser did what I said. Yep. And then he checked him, confusing the audience. Now his bishop's defended. So all that stuff I said happened. Amazing. Okay, then he, Karpov moved his king. Now if you take this is attacked because the knight's defending it. So the knight's overworked. So Karpov takes the bishop because the bishop was attacking the pawn. And then Karpov's like, I'm going to take both of these pawns and draw. And then Yasser said, quiet, we're playing a game. He couldn't believe Karpov was talking. Okay, rook d4, because it's nice to save that pawn, right? And then he attacked the knight, so the knight moved away. Here comes the king. Move your king up in the endgame. Now he's threatening discovered check again. And then he blocks the pawn. So now this pawn is as useless as a Nevada boxing commissioner, right? Because this is blocking it, this is blocking it, and here comes the king. So this is useless.
Right.
And the bishop can't help push it along because that's already defending it and that's it. However, this knight will just be attacked. Rook here, the king's going to come up, and black has nothing. Black's pawn majority here is shallow and pedantic. Yeah, and here he resigned because if he trades rooks, it's over. If he doesn't trade rooks, it's over. Here comes this rook, and so forth. Although I'm guessing Karpov lost on time, because I think Karpov would have played here instead of resigning. Yeah, because position's lost, but I don't think he would resign. Yeah, I like all the whatever. See, he flagged. See?
Now, when was it came from?
You. Before you were born, 1990. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't matter if people played well or not. What matters is Yasser played like a maniac. That's what matters. Look at that, E4. God damn. Yeah. Yeah, E4 is the greatest move ever. And then, yeah. And so forth. 1990 is an old Karpov? No, I think now is an old Karpov. Karpov was 39 in 1990. I mean, that is a Stella. So now he's going to visit us. Yeah, we have if you don't like that Stella, we have this one she drank yesterday, although she didn't finish it. That's like at the bar.
That was from tonight and it got hot, so I just didn't finish it.
There was one here I guess you do that a lot.
That was just today.
Yeah. So here's what happens with Karen. She orders Stella, and she's a very slow drinker. By the time it's like 65 to 70% gone, it's not cold anymore. Because, she's been taking on, so then she gets another one. Luckily, the karaoke we go to, Barney Gumbel's there, so he finishes her beer for her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Karpa. Now, you guys don't understand. I mean, Yasser does. I'm talking about the rest of you. You don't understand between 1880 and 2000, right, that 120-year period. If you ask somebody, what's the best age for a chess player, the answer is different than it is now. When I was a little kid, I asked my dad, and he thought 35 was like your peak. Like when you're 35, you're better than when you're 30. Nobody would say that now about today's players. But, Lasker and Steinitz were world champion when they were 800 years old. So Karpov being 39 in 1990, I mean, that's only old because he's older than Kasparov. Ridiculous. Right. No, Kasparov, I mean, it depends what you define by old. Obviously, nowadays, when you're between 45 and 50, you've either retired or you're not in the top 20 anymore if you were, with maybe Anand as the exception. A lot of people use Anand as an exception. The problem is, and Korchnoi, the problem with the Anand Korchnoi exceptions is they're very, 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 very good, but they're not as good as they were. Even though some people drop off a lot, like Yuri Andropov. He dropped off really fast. You know what I mean? Like he was there and then they're like, you're out, right? He's like, why am I out? And they're like, you're dead. And he's like, oh yeah. right? And it used to be if the Politburo made you the head, that was the end of you. You died immediately. There's Russian heads you never heard of because they died in a few months. Terrible. Right. So it used to be if you were 35, 40, 45, you could still be top 10, 20 in the world. Now it's the exception. And even though Korchnoi was great in his 60s, and he beat Caruana with black in his 60s, just so you know, although maybe he was 70. Now I'm going to say he was 70. Yeah, I think when Korchnoi was 70, he was black against Caruana and crushed him. So, but the point is, even though Korchnoi and Anand, and there's probably 2 or 3 other examples of people in their 50s being good, like really good, they're still not as good as they were. It's not like a 55-year-old Korchnoi is going to be a 30-year-old Korchnoi or Anand. But, I mean, they're still good. Yeah. I mean, YASSER's still good, but if YASSER played a YASSER who was 30, then, the 30-year-old YASSER would be like, yay, I'm playing an old man. And then YASSER would say, you can't talk to me like that, I'm you. So, these are the things that happen.
Hey, Farty Party is done for us to read the donation message.
I did read it. He says he wants me to analyze a viewer game, and it's on Discord, and, rawr. Yeah. If I want to see a viewer, it's going to be with a really powerful telescope. No.
Is that really what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't need to.
No, I read it, yeah.
Oh.
I just said I didn't read it so that he wouldn't bother me. Yeah. I mean, good job, Farty Party. I don't like looking at users' games because then 800 other users are like, why aren't you looking at my game? And here, I'll post my game, but you can't copy and paste it because I posted it wrong. I don't want any of that. Okay? If YASSER comes to stream, we can look at YASSER's games until the cows come home. That's right. There was one point in Magnus's career where he won every game. Now he draws a lot, but he used to win every game. And Magnus was great in 2015. He's right. Also, nobody ever believes me except YASSER will believe me, and YASSER will agree. There was more than once for 8 months, there were 2 times in the last 8 years, the last 6 years, where there was an 8-month period where Wesley So was unbeatable. Wesley So won every tournament. And then Wesley's like, oh, wait, I'm not that good, and he stopped. He did that twice. Wesley was the best player in the world over Magnus for a few months. And then Wesley's like, wait a minute, I'm not better than Magnus. And then that was the end of him. Then he did it again. And he's like, oh, I forgot Magnus is better than me. I mean, Wesley had some streaks where he was killing it. And YASSER was there, right? Now, I don't want YASSER to cry. Okay, you guys don't know, but YASSER does. He might cry now. YASSER was there when Wesley beat Kasparov in that Blitz game. God damn. There was a few years ago, YASSER was doing commentary, and YASSER said, now God knows what it's like when Wesley has a gun. Yeah. There was a Blitz game, Wesley beat Kasparov. Wesley sacked all his pieces and made it Kasparov in the opening. And then when the game ended, Kasparov said, that was like the game Morphy versus Amateur, and I was the amateur. Yeah, YASSER likes that Blitz game. Right, and then most people, when they play a match with Magnus, right, they just lose. It's just over. And Wesley played a 960 match with Magnus, and the final score was 13.5, 2.5 for Wesley. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, right. No, I mean, Wesley can play better than everybody, but he chooses not to. He's like Seinfeld. I choose not to win. And they're like, all right. But I remember in a 6-month period, Wesley won the U.S. Championship, which had, Naka and Fabi, and other people that you guys think are good. London Chess Classic, which had everybody. Tata Steel, which had everybody. And the Millionaire Open, which obviously was weak. But, when you have an open tournament with 60 Grandmasters, it's hard to win those. When you're better than everybody in the tournament, but there's 60 GMs and it's an open tournament, those are hard to win. They're just hard because it's an open tournament. So you got to win every game. When Wesley wins against Carlson and Fabi and Hikaru, he needs like +2, +3. If you're going to open tournament that you're the strongest player in, and it's 9 rounds, you need like 7.5 out of 9 or 8 out of 9. But when you play in, Tata Steel, you need 6 out of 9, 5.5 out of 9. So it's hard to win every game. Yasser just bought one of your books. What, Cry Like a Grandmaster? Check out my game versus Timon, Best of the Wetch in Holland, Game 5. All right.
Yeah, somebody else was asking.
Wait, what was that? Go Yasser. Yay, somebody upgraded. Hooray.
Yay.
Yeah, I spelled Sarah one wrong. What am I, one of my viewers? Typo.
1990.
1990? Sarah one, Timon, Best in the West, 1990. Damascus Steel, KRO match. See, the thing is, Yasser's beaten everybody like 10 times. So often I'm finding the wrong game that he won. Okay, he says that's right. Yeah.
Yay.
We're on a road to
Thank
nowhere.
you, 1300 Karpov.
But by the way, I can look good if I show you my best games. I just don't have as many. But I could look good, except I don't. We're on a road to nowhere.
Do something real quick.
Man, you beat these guys really quick. Wait, what happened?
Nothing. I'm just going to change the time.
All right. Call it Yes, Sir, That's My Baby.
Oh, no, that went to mine.
What?
I probably can't.
I think I can change it and you can't. Here.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
You go ahead.
Right there. No, just, I don't know what you want to call it. You can call it. I can't reach that.
I was just going to put something about YASSER in there. You can just put whatever you think.
What? No, you do it.
Okay. Let me see my mouse then.
No, you can't have the mouse. Karen's like, we're looking at Yasser games, so she got popcorn and a beer. True story. You can't make that up. Yasser between 25 and 40 would beat the Yasser today pretty good. Because, Yasser is 60. What do you want him to do? 30-year-olds beat 60-year-olds themselves, unless they don't. But, yeah, I think Yasser with 30 would, He's beaten Karpov and Kasparov every game.
Okay.
What's that? Yasser in the chat. Okay. We're on a road. Paste. But it's still not going to say that when when the person does the thing. We'll have to go back and change it.
It doesn't matter.
It matters a little. It's moves that matter. We're on a road to nowhere. Okay, this is Yasser versus Timon. What year was this? 1990? Were all your games in 1990? Oh, interesting. Okay, Yasser's white. All right, now let me tell you a story about Timon that only Yasser knows. But now they're all going to know it. Okay? There was a tournament, I believe in 89, unless it was 90, but I think it was 89, in Paris. And it was a knockout rapid chess, like 25-minute with a 5-second delay or increment. Nobody knows. And the players were like all the best players in the world. And Ivanchuk didn't play. And he said, rapid is too nerve-wracking. I won't play. And if you got knocked out in the first match, you won $5,000. Now, $5,000 now, we would just set on fire and throw it at our enemies. But in 1989, $5,000 was a lot of money. Right? You didn't go to a chess tour and win $5,000. Not 1989. Anyway, in that tournament, right, Yasser's correct, Emopar. In that tournament, it was a knockout. It was a 2-game knockout, just like Ben Simon would have. So if it was 1-1, then you would go to like some blitz or I don't know. In succession, Timon beat Kamsky, Anand, Karpov, and Kasparov, and he beat them all in 2 games. Nobody could get 1-1 with Timon. He won every match in 2 games, either 2-0 or 1.5 half. What? You could argue those were the those were the four most talented people on earth. Kamsky, Anand, Karpov, and Kasparov. They might not be, but you could argue that. And as a consequence, Timon won $70,000, which in 1989 is $7 million now. And then when he got home, the Dutch government said, good. And then Timon was broke. Man, harsh. The Dutch government said, we will tax that now. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah. When they tax you in Europe, they're not kidding. Man, the truth hurts. Thanks, the 9. Anyway, so Timon was good. So there you go. There's another instance of YASSER being a second of, a super grandmaster. Man, YASSER's been second to Timon and Korchnoi. Tarzan? Man, Tarzan. All right. You know when Tarzan was 95 years old? He wasn't that old, but he beat Kramnik in a slow tournament. That was a surprising result. Tarzan didn't play chess for 30 years. Then he came back and beat Kramnik. Man, the truth hurts.
You don't remember how old he was?
70? No, he wasn't 70. Oh, he might have been. He was late 60s, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter. Even if he's 50, he shouldn't quit chess for 30 years, then beat Kramnik. Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, he's a grizzled old geezer. That's right. Yeah, he looks like, he's an old guy. Yeah. Yeah. Timon should have moved to Florida. Well, I think Monaco is where he should have moved. All right. So here's now Timon was playing the Queen's Indian before the Queen's Indian existed. YASSER and Timon would analyze the Queen's Indian for like Timon's match with Karpov, for example. So they're the world's leading authorities on the Queen's Indian. That's the Queen's Indian. Okay, knight c3. Now they're transposing into like the Sarawak Indian with Queen b3.
Yeah, thank you, Spectre 2.
In the same tournament. Yeah. No, I mean, you play good, you play good. As long as you play good. 2640 subscribers, that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, who was YASSER's trainer? Who did YASSER call his coach? Maybe John Donaldson? Maybe Minev? Maybe. Remember, I said maybe. That's a big maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Olive Man.
Huh? See, Alpha Forever is making a good joke. He misspelled Joe. He wants to know if Joe Biden's saying peaches, because the group that sang peaches is the President of the United States of America. Mm-hmm. So, we've been presidents now. Okay. So now, YASSER has a threat. Now, when I prepared with YASSER in China, he was always playing the Nimzo Indian with white, like me, and he was always castling queenside, unlike me. And then, I think you castle queenside when you beat Judith, but I can't remember. And I know you drew the game where everybody thought you were going to lose against some Russian guy who's 8 feet tall and has a long name. Let's see, what was his name? It was either Moisenko or the other guy who starts with an M. Yeah, Putin, somebody like that. Anyway, YASSER likes to castle queenside and win in 20 moves. Moisenko, yeah. Okay, so YASSER's doing it again, even though it was before the time I told you about. Right, Moisenko, Moskalenko, same thing. All right. Bishop takes. So in this position, Karen, Jan's like, ha, you're pinned. And YASSER's like, no talking. So when YASSER did that, now if YASSER ever moves his knight, if he ever does, that bishop is shallow and pedantic. So he's like, all right, I'll take that. And YASSER's like, I'm not going to take back. Now, for $1 trillion, in what famous opening do you see bishop takes c3, d5? Played in 1 million games. And it's not played anymore because, suspicious. Now, YASSER will be surprised by this.
Which, I don't know.
Yeah. Am I allowed to play e4? I don't think I am. Oh, I am. Okay. So this is a very famous opening. Here. Here, all the grandmasters play d3. And the ones who play d4 play e5 now. Okay? But the old main line is this. This is Steinitz von Bartoleben. Okay? And now all the GMs play here. But you can play here. Right? Takes. Castles, takes. This is a million games between 1850 and 1950. Since 1950, it's 0 games. I had white in this position in the U.S. Championship. I did secret illegal preparation, and my opponent played better than me. I've never played e4, and I've never played this opening with white. And my opponent played like he knew I was going to play it. He was just playing fast and playing all the best moves. And I had a novelty ready, and he moved instantly. I drew the game, but I was worse. That was against Stephen Muhammad, who used to be Stephen Booth. He changed his name because, Islam. And we went to a restaurant in Seattle when I played him. And it was me and Joel Benjamin and some gawking rabble. And the woman said, who sat us, would you like a booth or a table? This sounds like a joke I'm making, but it's not. This happened. And I said, can we have a Muhammad? And Joel Benjamin thought that was the funniest thing he ever heard. So, okay, and then you play d5 here. That's the main move.
Okay.
So when you see bishop takes c3, d5, you think of this position. That's all you ever think about. Right. But nobody plays this anymore. But low-rated players play it all the time. Okay, then bishop f6, rook e1, knight e7, rook takes, Papa John's. Black's up a pawn, white has compensation, and super GMs are like, white doesn't have compensation. Okay, and they're right. All right, now, back to Yasser's game. Bishop takes c3, and then Yasser played d5, the engine move. So black's up a piece, but all his pieces are hanging. So both sides resign simultaneously. All right, so he played. E takes d5, not engine approved. Bishop e5, not engine approved. Yeah, and white's already winning. So Yasser played very aggressively, then he played more aggressively, and then Timon failed. So this position is equal material, but white's got all this action, right? He's threatening everything. So this is just terrible for black. Okay, queen e7, also a bad move. Takes is correct. Takes is correct. Very good. Everybody's the best. Yeah. e3 is the engine move. Yasser wants to get his bishop out. Exactly. Okay, so here's the problem black has. Okay, the obvious move for black is to castle because you're getting your ass kicked. Okay, unfortunately, Yasser's threatening all three of these because I said so. Right? He's threatening this and this and this. And by playing in that order, he wins. Takes this, and now this is attacked. So black can't castle, but black has to castle. Right? It's a Sophia Polgar choice. Okay. So now black can resign, but super GMs are very tricky. Okay, except for Nepo. And he played rook d8. The engine suggests a very explosive move here.
What, c4?
Yeah. c4 is the engine move, and still white's winning. Right. And then you will know Yasser is the Lord when he plays a move recommended by Morphy. What did Morphy play in the Count and the Duke game?
Let me see. I know there was some sacking going on.
There was some sacking going on. Yeah. Yep. This is exactly what Morphy did.
I think it was, maybe this is bishop b5.
That bishop b5 is equally good to Yasser's move, but it's not a sacrifice. If you're not sacrificing, you're not trying. There's only one move here that's a sacrifice. Also, always sacrifice the exchange.
Well, I mean, you say rook takes.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Okay.
Yeah. So queen takes is risky because of bishop b5.
Yeah.
King takes is risky because it's king takes. Knight takes is risky because of bishop takes queen. So he played rook takes. Right. Now, it's the same deviled egg. Remember when I said why castling was bad? It's bad for the same reason. If you castle, it's the same. And this is hanging. Yasser plays the same trick every move. Okay. So he can't castle. So he plays bishop d6. Now you can't take the bishop. Now you could castle. And Yasser Morphy-like plays rook h d1. He's got 7 pins, 1 for each of you. Now remember, the guy with black the previous year in rapid matches beat Karpov, Kasparov, Anand, and Kamsky in 2 games. There was no 1-1. So now Yasser's making him look like the world's worst player, which he also did with Ivanchuk and who was the other guy? Not Karpov, but the other guy.
Yasser says he's a one-trick pony.
That's right. Okay, so he did castle because enough is enough.
It's a good trick.
Then Yasser took that. Now knight takes is bad because you lose your queen. So he took with the queen, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Yasser is a big fan of my streams, so he always retreats. And you see how the bishop, you see what's happening here? Mm-hmm. And Jan is also a big fan of my streams, so he plays c4, which is explosive. And then Yasser retreats again. Yeah, now it's hard to defend that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay. And one of the reasons Yasser played to c2 instead of somewhere else is it stops knight e4 defending it. So he played knight e8. Black's position is good except for one thing. Okay. Now Yasser does a twofer. Okay. Plays knight g5, threatening mate. You agree. And if black stops mate, knight e4 is annoying. Thanks, Purple Haze. You see what I'm saying? See mate, right? And then if you stop mate, knight here, and I got 3 guys, 1 for each of you. So Timon plays f5, stopping mate, stopping knight e4. Okay. Queen takes check. I've analyzed this game before, and the engine slightly preferred queen d2. They both win, but Yasser's like, take a pawn with check. Are you kidding me? Pawn grubber that he is. Okay. Then bishop takes, knight takes, queen d5. So how do you defend your knight? Here, right? Rook d8. That's the only way to defend it. Right. Now in this position, the engine move is even better than Yasser's move. And if Yasser watched my stream more, especially in 1990 when I wasn't streaming yet, he would know to always play. Always play.
King b1?
Yep, look at the engine move.
I can see that.
King b1. Okay. Now, why king b1? Because it stops all the checks. There's buenos no checks.
Oh,
right. Now, let me show you a trick and why tricks are for kids. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. If Yasser does this, okay, then he wins. You agree? Okay. However, there's not only an intermezzo, there's a Zwischenzug. Now Yasser's worse. He didn't do that. Because queen c8 check, always retreat. Attacking the king, attacking the queen. Now that wouldn't happen if Yasser had played king b1. Then there is no, then he actually is threatening this. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So Yasser played here, which also wins. That's sort of annoying too. Queen c8, always play king b1. Rook d7. And this is the move the audience is going to like the most. Right? I literally don't care. The reason I don't care is Kaidanov beat me like this once, so I don't want to see it again.
Okay.
Kaidanov beat me in Indiana, which doesn't make any sense. There's no tournaments in Indiana. And this is how he beat me. It was before Yasser was born. Now, every move wins, and Black should have resigned. He's not showing Yasser the proper respect. This is, ridiculous. But Yasser played queen takes d6, one last tactic. Then he resigned. If you take, it's easy to stop rook d8 check, except for one thing. After this game, for a couple of years, the super GMs would call Tim on a drum because he got beat like a drum. Yeah. Then in the late 2000s, early 2010s, they started calling Tim on Rihanna. It wasn't fair.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Etc. It was funny. Jan Timman was on my interclub team in Belgium. We played for Anderlecht. And he played, or maybe it was Paquette, and Jan was on the other team. I don't even remember now. Anyway, Timon played Paquette, Jeroen Paquette, who Yasser remembers and none of you else do. And Timon beat him like Paquette wasn't there. Paquette has famous games with Kasparov. And the most famous, obviously. Yeah. Yes, sir. What's the most famous move that Kasparov played against Paquette?
I can't hear you.
Come here.
Okay.
Somebody else answered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kasparov bird gambit. We heard that. No, you didn't. She didn't even hear me.
I did.
No, the Knight H1 game in the King's Indian, yes, sir. Come on. Boo, boo. Yeah, with the Queen on A7. Man, that was great. Yeah. Now, as you all know, they don't know.
Mm-hmm. They might.
No, they don't. They don't. Mm-hmm. Right? When I tell you this, even Yasser will be surprised, except Yasser already knows it. Paquette beat Kasparov in Rook and 4 versus Rook and 3 on the same side. You didn't see that coming, did you? Right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Rook and 4 against Rook and 3 on the same side. Paquette beat Kasparov. Now, here's something you don't know, which Yasser knows. Joël Atier, one of the greatest French players of all time, born in Canada, who quit chess because he decided to make millions in business. Horrible. Laudier was assigned to be the analyst of the Berlin before Kasparov lost to Kramnik. All that Berlin analysis was from Laudier. And Laudier was an exciting player, so he was furious, but he was good. Laudier beat Kasparov twice with black by kicking his ass. So Laudier wasn't bad. And Laudier, who was the world junior champion ahead of Ivanchuk, they tied, but Laudier won on tie breaks. In 1988, I believe. Could have been 89, but I think it was 88. Might have been 89. Laudier, incredibly strong player, and he did what Paquette did. Paquette quit chess so he could work with Van Ostrom, I think, and then the more he quit chess, the more money he made. And the same with Laudier. So Laudier and Paquette were like two big talents, but they went for the money. Tal Shaked, not as big of a talent, but world junior champion. He also went for the money, and he worked or currently works at Google. I saw him at Google when he was working there. So some of these guys who were pretty good, you know, they're like, hey, there's more money in doing something else, like Tarzan. Yeah. Yeah, Yoop, R.I.P. Yoop ran the Melody Amber tournaments because his daughter was Melody Amber, so he named the tournaments after her. She was a baby. She was born, and the Melody Amber tournaments were half rapid and half blindfold rapid.
This was where now?
In the south of France, like Caen and Nice. Yeah. Yasser's played in those. I'm no good. Tall, shaken, not stirred. And maybe Yasser remembers when Kasparov played a novelty in the Grunfeld against Tal Shaked, the one time they played, he had prepared for Karpov, but it didn't come up. And they asked him about it. Karpov said it was like using a nuclear weapon to kill a mosquito. Yeah, the truth hurts. Nuclear bomb to kill a gnat. Good enough.
I'm getting full.
Yeah, the truth hurts. Hey, we have a lot of viewers. Mm-hmm. That was Savage. That was Kasparov.
Hey, why don't you play a game for us?
Yasser or me?
You, and then...
Me?
And then
then Yasser will laugh at me.
And then we can pause again and chat some more with Yasser.
But he'll say, God, Ben, I thought you were good. What happened to you?
Come on now.
Truth hurts.
Show Yasser now. You gotta
show Yasser how bad I am?
Show off for him.
All right. Yeah, I'll show off for him. Yeah.
2,800. Come on, Ben.
Yeah, he'll want to play me for money. Well, if I win the game, I'll be 2,700. So that's
right.
Good. I'm trying to get to 2,800 blitz, Yasser, and I got to 2,763 like a week or two ago, and then it all went south. Then yesterday, I was on the rebound, and I played this guy who's the best player in Romania, Diak or whatever. That didn't go well. Bogdan, yeah. He beat me 8 games in a row, then I beat him the 9th game. He's like 2680 FIDE, and he's 20. Yeah, that didn't work out very well. Yeah, truth hurts.
Yasser said, keep it on, don't show off.
That's right. You don't want me to... Oh, all right. Yasser's already seen me with my shirt off. You don't care. See, nobody will play me because I'm too good. Or something. To us, it seems like it's 3 a.m, right? And it's not even 9 p.m.
Doesn't seem that late.
But it seems late, right?
Seems later than what
It's
it
not even
is.
9 p.m. where we are.
Is it okay to not be good at chess? Says Nicholas.
Not if I'm the gatekeeper, it's not.
Well, they said you were the
Right.
elite. Yeah, okay.
That's yeah, right.
It's 3 a.m. in Holland.
It's 2 a.m., 2 a.m.
It's almost.
Uh-huh. Yasser's in Holland. Why is he in Holland? Because that's where he lives. Gotta live somewhere. Yasser, how long have you been married? I'm going to guess 28 years. It's a random guess. I have no idea. How long has Yasser been married? Other people are guessing, but Yasser's not saying. I like that. No, Holland Oates is just one person. Holland Oates. Holland, yeah. We just celebrated 25th anniversary. What, I guess 28? Pretty good. Yeah. Also, it's our anniversary in 12 days.
Yeah.
5 years.
I need
After 4 years of marriage, you hit the time control, and you get another 20 years. Yeah.
I gotta get a present.
You never get me a present.
That's not true. Got you that nice iPad.
Yay.
I'm not very good with presents, though.
You're married to Jan Nagel's daughter. That's correct. Why Yvette chose November 22nd? It's the day before Karen's birthday? That means I'm supposed to know why she chose it and I don't. Darn. No, I get to play E5. It's E5 Potzers. Okay. He didn't play E5. He'll probably play it now. What? He's tricking me. I should play like Yasser, Bishop D3. I should play the exact same game.
Anniversary date equals 11/22. Even I can remember that. Karen would like that.
Yeah, we got married exactly 1 month after Karen's birthday. So I can remember that. It's also, our anniversary is 2 days after my daughter's birthday. I have more time. I'm going to play like Yasser this game, except, it's the Yasser that wins in 80 moves. Not the Yasser that checkmates people in 20 moves. Yeah. Very Yasser-like. So Yasser, the reason I lose all my games in 3 minutes, I mean, obviously one of the reasons is I'm terrible, but not that. Everybody's terrible. I don't care about that. Is I play really slow and I lose half my games on time. So whenever I really focus and move instantly, then everything's great. Then I have a really good score. I don't play better, but at least I don't lose on time. But I lose on time a lot. So whenever I have more time, I'm really happy. I don't care if I'm down a queen. I just I have more time. More time is good. He knows damn well he has been cheated into the twilight zone.
Hey, they renamed confettis.
They renamed it?
Or I guess it's a new business. I don't know about it. It's now called Bahamas.
Like Bahama Breeze? Has been cheated.
I forgot about my beer again, but it's still cold.
Did you forget about Dre? I hope not. Yeah, I like this because I have a lot of time. haven't even blundered yet. That's the amazing part. Is he going here? All right.
Karen, is Stella the best beer? I don't know. I like it a lot. It's, easy to get it. It's at the grocery store.
Yasser's never fallen asleep more than he has watching this game.
Yasser says, I do know it is.
Yasser's like, can Ben play any more boring? And the answer is no. This is the most boring I can play. I don't care if I'm playing boring or good or bad. All I care about is my time. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about Beatles, just Yoko and me.
Yasser says, Stella, man. I know I didn't get to really get on the Bros channel and see Yasser on there because I was so busy. But I was aware I was missing it. Thank you for the sub, Matrix. Matrix Rogue. Why don't we call Yasser on Zoom? Well, it's 3 a.m. there. He's, may not want to get on the camera. He's just trying to hang out for a second. I would love him to get on there, but, maybe another time. Or now is fine, too. He was great on Chess Pro. I'm sure he was. Yeah, when is the Karen's Cup?
Man, I like when he played FG, not getting his bass pawn going. That was good.
Is that the Jeannie Sinkfield tournament, the Karen's Cup? I think it is.
It's the Karen Cup.
Oh, it's in February? Yeah, you should come visit us. That would be so much fun.
2,700. Yay.
Yeah. We have to figure something out.
0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 missed wins. I was never in trouble. Man, Yasser probably liked that game. I didn't blunder. I always blunder and lose on time. I didn't blunder and I didn't lose on time. Those are my specialties, blundering and losing on time. I'm going to do a game report because I was really proud of my play. And then it's going to say, you suck. I'll be like, damn, why'd I do that? Come on, give me 95 plus.
Yeah, we'll have to email.
Better than Jan.
We haven't been to St. Louis in a while either.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go there as well.
It's giving me a training plan based on this game. It's the game review.
Magnus like consistency by Ben.
Oh, yeah. Very funny. You can tell when Yasser's had one too many. Oh, a snap.
Yay, thank you, user-friendly.
Yay, user-friendly. I prefer user-unfriendly.
Hey, I'm sorry that we didn't thank all of the bits and subs earlier.
No, it says I played 88.1. That's terrible.
We were just...
He played 83.4.
Chat was too busy.
I made 5 mistakes, 3 inaccuracies, 0 blunders, 0 missed wins. Yeah, 88.1's not, over 3 minutes it's okay. But still, that's not, I was hoping for 95 plus. Not that I suck. Darn. F3 got an X-clam. That was a great move. F3 was the greatest move, it said, because otherwise I lose. So it didn't like Rook A1. You had the advantage, and now you don't. But I thought he was going to play Knight G1 and Knight G5. So Knight G1, I didn't know what to do. So I played Rook here, so you can't play Knight G1. That's why I did that. Bishop E2 is no good. Well, but he attacked my pawn. And then Rook C5 is X-clam. King B2 is question mark. Yeah, King B2 is no good. Yeah, I agree with that. Based on this game, I have some suggestions for you. Rooks on the 7th, doubled rooks, fianchetto, outside past pawns. Has a lot of suggestions. Yeah.
Those are lessons.
Truth hurts. Yeah. This position looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the important thing was 48 seconds on move 60. I've never had 48 seconds on move 60 in a 3-minute game, especially when I'm streaming. Terrible.
Well, and you're at 2,700.
Yeah, Karen likes that. Yeah, I was asking Karen, are we going to get busy tonight? And she said, what's your rating? And then when I told her, she's like, I don't think so. Yeah, 2,700, I have chances. Play another game before you're bad again? I don't know, I'm probably still bad. Let's see. Should I play or should I play? All right, same guy. This will be the last game of the stream because, it'll be after 9. So far, I'm doing great. He's getting his engine booted up. He didn't boot his engine up last game. That was his problem. He probably did a rematch. I didn't accept, and then he left. And then when I challenged and it played, he's not even at his computer. That's how I avoid losing. I don't play. They were all about me. That's right. Yeah. Even if they're wrong, they're still funny.
Can you? I would just. Oh, yeah. See, I would abort it maybe.
Okay. That's what my mom said. I abort you. You abort me. What's this guy? 2419? But I'm 2,700. I can't play him. I lose rating points if I win. Dun, 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 dun. You can't create a challenge because he's currently playing. What? Challenge failed. Challenge failed. You suck. I can't play anybody.
I don't know.
All right, I'll show like some of my favorite stuff. Well, YASSER probably went to bed.
No, I would play. Let's play a game. I think
I can. Nobody's gonna play me.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
I waited for like a minute. Wait, I got rid of the challenge and somebody's playing me. This isn't good. He's higher rated than me. Boo. Boo. Is that Australia or New Zealand? Nobody knows. It doesn't matter how badly I play, as long as I move instantly every move. But I am going to play slowly because I can't remember to do it. Yeah, I lose so many games on time in 3 minutes, or I blunder when I'm winning when I have less than 30 seconds. That's like every game I play.
No Mercy, Ben says yes.
How about Merci? I castle a queenside because YASSER's here. Also because I always castle a queenside. King B1.
Yay.
Yeah, I can play in the center and the king side and get mated. That's great. Let's see, I guess here. If my king was on G1, I'd like my game. Truth hurts. Let's see here. Maybe here. Yeah, I like that move, because then when he takes my knight, he can't open my king so easily. Maybe I should have taken this and then played e5. That's what I should have done. Damn. If he doesn't mate me, I should be okay. If he mates me, then I'm slightly worse. I gotta play fast, though. I'm so slow.
You're ahead right now.
I know, but I know I'm gonna play slow later and be mad about it. I'm already predicting that I'm going to be down like a minute on the clock and I'm going to be furious.
General Motors got a huge taxpayer bailout,
I didn't see that.
says YASSER, and the journalist called it government motors.
I like that I have more time. I might lose my queen, but I have more time. So that's all I care about. I guess I should take that.
Yasser, if you read this, we love you.
What if he doesn't read it? Do they still love him?
Yeah, he says if you don't, we still love you.
All right. Cool.
Always repeats this, Tucker Tommy. The world of bailouts and infinite. Brr. Brr. What's brr?
I can't believe I have more time. Because the guy's higher rated than me. That means I won't have more time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Pastor Pawn,
but
how's it
somehow
going?
I do.
Brr must go on.
I didn't see that. But I don't care because I have more time. Yeah, there's a 0% chance he'll see that. Because he, skewered me. I guess he does see it. Because he hasn't moved yet. Terrible. Bishop f6, take, check here, check here. Rook d3 instead of that. I like rook d3. Wow. Can he defend after rook d3? What do you think, Karen? I don't think so. I don't believe it. I don't think he can defend after rook d3.
d3.
Yeah, he takes, I check, king g8, rook d3. Well, okay, that's just silly. I guess he couldn't defend, so he just gave up. All right, can he stop here? Oh, he has queen here and bishop here. Can he stop here? I'm going to say no. Oh, he could play queen g2. Wow. That's amazing. He can stop me from getting my queen here. All right, I guess I'd rather have him stop me. Oh, he could take my rook. 48 seconds. No. I don't know. All right, we'll just go here. Try to win the old-fashioned way. Pretend that he has no play and just mate him. Let's see. Rook e6. Gotta block that bishop. I'm trying to lose on time. He gave me such a winning position. He resigned.
No.
I tried to lose on time, I told you. Yeah. 5 mistakes, 1 blunder, but I was never in trouble. How do you make 5 mistakes and a blunder? You're never in trouble. Yay, 2708.
All right.
Good, good. Terrible, though.
It was exciting.
It was. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. No, but I mean, I can't believe. Also, he resigned when I had 8 seconds left. Mm-hmm. He had faith in me that I would win. I was going to pre-move this every move. Because, it's funny, I don't need to pre-move this because I can play here, here, and then if he plays f3, I'm still winning. I'm already beyond the pre-moving of f3. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would never resign when my opponent has 7.8 seconds left. I don't care if they have mate and 1. If I lose my connection, he wins. Yeah.
He's suggesting
Queen d3, queen g2, queen b3. Okay, let's see. Oh, queen b3 here. Yeah, and then he can't take on g2 because of this. Yeah. But it's funny, Yasser. I was looking at queen e2 to go here, and then I saw bishop takes, defends that. So I was just like, all right. But yeah, I forgot about queen h3. Yeah. The reason is, like, there's a lot of ways to play queen, but this took away one of them. Yeah, he's saying go here, threatening mate.
I see it now.
And then if he defends it, then I take the bishop.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see it at first. But
Man, he's in trouble here. God damn, he's in trouble. What's funny is if he moves his bishop, like to protect, then I have f6 discovered check. Never play f6 discovered check. Like, so he can't move his bishop. He can't stop that. This is attacked. That would have ended the game pretty quickly. Yeah.
Thank you,
I made it exciting for the
It
spectators.
was exciting. He says GG.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm completely winning and I have more time, then I start thinking about how to win, and then that's no good. Then I lose on time and I give up my win anyway. Yasser doesn't know that because Yasser's only seen me win. He's like, Ben's complaining about all these things that aren't happening. They're going to happen. Yeah. All right, Yasser's here, so we'll play, a line that Yasser would play with white and black. Yasser plays castles 98 instead of what I do. Or I'll play like Yasser because Yasser's here. I usually play knight here, knight here, knight here. But we'll play differently.
The famous line from Yasser, he will get his ring back, but I'm not sure about the money.
Right, yeah. Never play f6, but times are tough. Oh, this pawn's hanging. Although, I think it wasn't. Probably was. I was trying to get my rook out. Yeah, I have less time. This is terrible, frankly.
It's not that much less.
Yeah, but it's I can't win when I have less time. I have to have like 5 minutes more. Ay, ay, ay. I'm not playing slow. I've played 24 moves. And my opponent's played 24 moves in 40 seconds. So, none of it's theory. We're just playing. Big money, no whammy, stop.
Yay.
$9.99.
Thank
Hooray.
you, Han Superman. If you're going to fight someone, shouldn't you keep wearing the ring?
Doesn't work. Darn, I'm going to lose on time because my position sucks. Okay, so here and here, I guess.
That's funny.
Well, I didn't lose on time yet. That's good. Where's my knight? There. All right. $50 move.
Yay!
It's funny, like 20 moves before it was bishop and knight against king. I almost said, I hope this is bishop knight versus king, because I did that before in a similar game. Yeah, I caught up on time too. Look at that, 4.3.4.5. 114 moves.
Yay!
It says you had winning chances, but in the end it was even. None of that is true. None of that sentence is true. In the end it was even? I had winning chances? What?
Yeah.
I kept complaining to YASSER that I always lose on time, but I played 114 moves and had time left. So.
Hey, Charlotte Chess Center, how's it going?
He can do the mate too. He just had 15 seconds left. Yeah.
Thank you, Ditto Biddo,
Hooray!
for the 5 gifts.
And what's funny is his rating is slightly higher than mine, so I broke even on rating.
Well, thank you, yes.
Man, I'm an old man. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah, that's
YASSER.
exciting.
2.5 out of 3 while YASSER's watching. Not as bad as I play. YASSER's like, how'd you draw that endgame? What's wrong with you?
Good night,
Yeah.
YASSER.
Go YASSER!
Good
Hooray.
sweet dreams.
Yeah.
Yay, thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, the stream is good. Like, we've been off of Chess TV for 15 minutes and we still have 3,700 people because of YASSER.
People love YASSER.
Yeah. Or I shouldn't play anymore because, things are going downhill. Yeah. But I defended well. I got rid of that. I got rid of his pawn. I did this like 4 or 5 days ago, unless it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was losing and I got to bishop and knight versus king and I didn't lose. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of viewers tonight because I'm on Chess TV, but I do have more viewers than usual. It's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should I raid your boyfriend? I mean, Naroditsky? Looks like it, right?
Let's see who else.
Who else can I raid?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Yay, go Ben, but don't go. Yeah, well, 2.5 hours is good. How do you train for blitz games? By playing blitz games.
Raid Amaranth.
Yeah, thanks to YASSER for, letting me tell bedtime stories. Me and YASSER are like, that, son, until he sees me imitate him, then I'm banned. Yeah. How do you spare Naroditsky?
Sorry, I ate the whole stream.
Jezebel. Oh, wait, that's no.
I went to the gym today and I was so hungry during the stream.
Were you hungry like Patrick Wolf?
I'm happy I went to the gym finally.
Yeah, that is him. All right, I'm on Chess TV the same time tomorrow night, Sunday night. Everything's the same. Probably less YASSER, but maybe more YASSER. I don't know. And so forth, mainly and so forth. Yep. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.